It's already 10 a.m., so let's start the budget briefing. Before we continue, let me acknowledge the presence of Senator Robin Padilla. Let me direct also the committee secretary to acknowledge our resource persons for today.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning. Good morning, Senator Padilla. For the briefing on the FY 2026 proposed budget of the Commission on Audit and the Civil Service Commission and the Career Executive Service Board, we would like to acknowledge our resource persons. From the Commission on Audit, we have Chairperson Gamaliel Cordoba together with Commissioner Douglas Michael Malilin, Assistant Commissioner Alexander Juliano, Assistant Commissioner Martha Rosana Sese, Assistant Commissioner Adela Dondonilla, Assistant Commissioner Fortunata Rubico, Assistant Commissioner Lorna Cabotchan, Assistant Commissioner Joel Estolatan, Assistant Commissioner Brasilo Sabaldan, Assistant Commissioner Nilda Plaras, Assistant Commissioner Lucila Isidro, and Assistant Commissioner Roy Ursal. For the Civil Service Commission or CSC, we have Chairperson Marilyn Yap together with Commissioner Ryan Alvin Acosta, Commissioner Luis Mainrado Pangulayan, Assistant Commissioner Ariel Ronquillo, and Assistant Commissioner Judith A. Dongalio Chicano. For the Career Executive Service Board or CSB, we have the Executive Director Maria Marcy Cosare Ballesteros. For the Commission on Audit Auditors of CSC, we have Ms. Florence Villaluz and Mr. Levin Alacon. For the CESB, we have Ms. Ana Lisa Galindo. The auditors for COA are Ms. Edwina Doliente and Ms. Marciana Acoba. We are still waiting for the representatives of DBM, but DBM will be represented by Director Elena Brillantes and Director Lulu Vispo. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Committee Secretary. We practice first come, first serve here in the Senate, and I was informed by the COMSEC that the chairman of the CSC came in before the chairman of the COA. No? So, itong si Chairperson Yap, kami ni Chairperson Yap, Chairman
We are pleased to present the proposed 2026 budget of the Civil Service Commission along with the highlights of our 2024 and first semester 2025 accomplishments and probably 2026 targets. Mandato ng Civil Service Commission ay taguyod ang mabilis, maayos at marangal na serbisyo publiko. Ang aming fiscal year 2026 proposed budget ay maglalahad ng mga konkretong programa upang patuloy naming mapagbuti ang pagtupad ng aming mandato. Ang aming constitutional mandate to be the central personnel agency of the government tasked to establish a career service and adopt measures to promote morale, efficiency, integrity, responsiveness, progressiveness, and courtesy in the civil service is contained in Article 9B of the 1987 Philippine Constitution as flashed in our deck. Inihayag po ng Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. sa kanyang 2025 SONA na kailangan pa natin mas lalong galingan, kailangan pa natin mas lalong bilisan ang ating paglilingkod sa bayan. Kaya naman, pinagsisipakapan namin na pagbutihin ang aming mga programa. To date, sa ngayon po, the Philippine Civil Service workforce is more than 2 million strong, consisting of 1,873,504 career professionals and 225,439 non-career professionals including elected officials. Ito po ang distribution ng government workforce across sectors. Kung pansinin po ninyo, 70% of career professionals work in national government agencies while 20% work in LGUs or local government units. On the other hand, 63% of non-career professionals work in LGUs while 25% work in non-government agencies. We now present highlights of our performance for 2024 and the first semester of 2025. The CSC is one of the top performing agencies out of 308 agencies reviewed in the 2024 Agency Performance Review conducted by the DBM or the Department of Budget and Management. The CSC garnered a perfect score of 5, equivalent to outstanding performance in all PREXI performance indicators. This means the CSC excelled in financial management, met or exceeded all physical targets, and submitted timely and high-quality reports. And as to policies, the CSC issued within the first quarter of this year the 2025 Omnibus Rules and Appointments and other human resource actions. The new Ora guides HR actions across all agencies. The CSC also issued in the first quarter of 2025 the 2025 Rules on Administrative Cases in Civil Service, or RACS, which strengthens the accountability and streamlines procedures in dispensing administrative justice. Nailabas na rin po ang integrated at bagong Omnibus Rules on SALN, kung saan higit na pinalinaw ang pagbuo at pag-file ng Statement of Assets, Liabilities, and Net Worth. Ang mga iba pong polisiya na naipalabas ng Civil Service Commission ay kasama na ang Civil Service Eligibility Preferential Rating for Job Order and Contract of Service Workers, Casuals, and Contractuals. Ano po ang ibig sabihin ng CSC Preferential Rating, Eligibility Preferential Rating? Ito po ay magdadagdag ng 10 puntos sa score ng mga mag-e-exam sa civil service examinations as long as their score is not less than 70%, dadagdagan po ng 10 points para makaabot sila sa 80% na passing score. Itong preferential rating ay binigay din po natin sa ating military and uniformed personnel. We also amended the educational requirements for first-level positions to enable junior and senior high school graduates to qualify for these positions. Recently, we also issued a resolution for the grant of eligibility to Sangguniang Kabataan officials, both elective and appointive, which implements Republic Act 11768 that further strengthens and revitalizes the role of the Sangguniang Kabataan in local governance. Our proposed fiscal year 2026 budget embodies our commitment to strengthen the civil service through our 3 core program pillars, namely human resource governance, professionalism and workplace cooperation, and administrative justice. Sa Human Resource Governance Program, ang sub-programs po ay Prime HRM or Records Management and Public Assistance. Ang Prime HRM ay program for institutionalizing merit and excellence in human resource management, and it aims to improve public sector human resource systems in 4 areas: recruitment, selection and placement, performance management, learning and development, and rewards and recognition. Sa 2024, 128 agencies were given the Bronze Level Award and 134 agencies were given accreditation by the Commission. 477 HR systems were given recognition by regional offices. In the first semester of 2025, 52 agencies were given the Bronze Level Award, 87 were given the Accreditation Award, and 261 HR systems were recognized. This means that they reach certain maturity levels in all the 4 areas of human resource management. Records management, on the other hand, involves the control and maintenance of personnel and legal records, including their creation, use, retention, disposition, and managing requests for validation. For 2024, 276,145 records were authenticated for the first semester of 2025. 15,527 records were authenticated. 100% of all these records were released within 1 day from receipt of the request. As of August 2025, 21,250 authenticated copies of requested records were issued, with 100% released within 1 day from the receipt of request for validation. There is also the Public Assistance Sub-Program, which responds to requests received from the public by the Public Assistance and Complaints Desks in the regions and the Contact Center ng Bayan. In 2025, our resolution rate is 99.8%, or 143,202 requests acted upon out of 143,512 requests received. From a total of 3,651 requests received, 3,628 were referred within the prescribed 3 working days, or a referral rate of 99.4%. Our next program pillar is professionalization and workplace cooperation, which includes the sub-programs of learning and development, appointments, examinations and eligibility, and public sector employee relations. The CSC administers the career service exams for professional and sub-professional levels and other specialized exams. The CSC also processes the grant of eligibilities under special laws and issuances. In the first semester of 2025, a total of 359,000 examinees registered, with 327,648 actually taking the exams. The bulk of examinees are those taking the career service examinations, both professional and sub-professional. In August 2025, may isa pa po kaming exams na kinondak, 364,417 registered for the exams, and 331,675 actually took the exams. We also administered specialized examinations such as the Fire Officer, Penology, Local Treasury, and Foreign Service exams. For the semester of 2025, 5,536 candidates took these specialized examinations. In 2024, 114,328 passed the career service exams. For the first semester of 2025, a total of 47,727 examinees passed the career service exams. Sa August exams po natin, ire-release ang results ngayong tanghali. 50,096 or 15.1% passed the exams out of 331,675 examinees. There are also different eligibilities granted under special laws and CSC issuances. In the first semester of 2025, 27,967 eligibilities were granted. In 2024, 52,465 eligibilities were granted. As of August 2025, 37,235 eligibilities were granted under special laws and issuances. A closer look at the data revealed that the largest group are the honor graduates with 21,187 eligibilities granted, followed by career service preference rating and barangay official eligibility. Dumadami po ang honor graduates sa ating mga kolehiyo. On the sub-program of appointments, this involves verifying appointees' qualifications and compliance of appointments with civil service rules. In 2024, 766,128 appointments were acted upon out of 797,450 appointments, or 96.1% of total. By the first semester of 2025, 399,409 appointments were acted upon out of the 416,000 appointments received, or 95.9%. As of August 2025, 604,076 appointments were already received, and the acted upon were 534,990, or 88.56% of total. We also have a sub-program for learning and development, which provides learning opportunities to civil servants through face-to-face and online training, and these trainings aim to improve relevant skills and capabilities of civil servants. In 2024, a total of 105,601 civil servants were trained, surpassing the target of 73,700. In the first semester of 2025, we have trained 55,376 civil servants, and as of August 2025, the number has risen to 85,959 civil servants trained, or 114.61% of the annual target. We also have the Public Sector Employee Relations Sub-Program, which helps public sector organizations to be registered, accredited as exclusive bargaining units for their agencies, and to register their collective negotiation agreements. In the first semester of 2025, 96 CNAs, or collective negotiation agreements, were registered, 100% within the prescribed time, exceeding the target of 85%. Also, 88.24% of petitions for accreditation were processed within the prescribed period upon receipt of dole verification, surpassing the target of 80%. For administrative justice, which aims to ensure efficient and fair resolution of administrative cases in government, this is pursuant to the CSC's quasi-judicial power to hear and decide administrative cases and appeals involving government employees and officials. Cases are classified into disciplinary cases covering administrative offenses and non-disciplinary cases, which includes appeals and appointments, reassignments, and other human resource actions. Case disposition rate refers to the total number of cases decided over the total inventory of cases nationwide. In 2024, 10,052 cases were decided out of 18,881 cases in the total inventory, or a 53.2% disposition rate. In the first half of 2025, the Commission achieved a 33.90 disposition rate, or 4,636 cases out of 13,000 cases in its inventory, nearing its annual target of 44%. We are now at 39.14%, with cases decided at 5,870 out of 14,998 cases. And now to the meat of the presentation, the proposed budget of the CSC for fiscal year 2026. It stands at 4.188 billion in the NEP. In the past 3 years, the CSC received the following budget allocations. For 2023, we were given 2.1 billion. In 2024, we were given 2.3 billion. In 2025, 2.7 billion, and in the NEP for fiscal year 2026, it is 4.1 billion. May comparison po ng 2026 NEP at FY 2025 na sa ating slide. For fiscal year 2025, the increase in the proposed budget of the CSC in the amount of 1.5 billion plus is attributed to the following. The significant increase in the amount of 1.5 billion, which is the increase, is attributed to the foreign assisted project, which is the Philippine Civil Service Modernization Project at 0.963 billion, increase in PS allocation at 308.78 million, minimal increase in MOOE allocation at 6.9 million, and increase in Information System Strategic Plan allocation, which stands at 283.4 million pesos. Of the three major expenditure programs of the CSC, operations received 22.94% or 0.960 billion, which represents a 7.16 increase from 2025. General administration and support is at 27.61% or PHP 1.1 billion, representing 3.7% increase from 2025. For support to operations, 25.41% or PHP 1.06 billion, which represents 37.97% increase from 2025. Our locally funded project increase is at 1.03% or 0.043 billion or 43 million, which represent 1.8% increase from 2025. Our foreign assisted project is at 23.01% or 0.963 billion. The increase in personal services is due primarily to the implementation of the third tranche of the salary increase pursuant to Executive Order 64, Series of 2024, the increased allocation for the retirement and life insurance premium, and the increased allocation for pension for civilian personnel. In support to operations, the increase in the FY 2026 NEP in the amount of 283.455 million is primarily caused by the increase in the Information System Strategic Plan allocation for fiscal year 2020. For fiscal year 2026, the recommended budget of the CSC by major expense class are as follows. Personal services is 1.7 billion, up by 0.184 billion, and then maintenance and other operating expenses, it is at 1.1 billion, up by 0.441 billion, and capital outlay is at 1.266 billion, up by 0.78 billion. Seemingly, the significant increase in the CSC is hefty. However, only 6.9 million or 0.44% of the PHP 1.5 billion increase in 2026 NEP of the CSC is allocated for operating expenses. For fiscal year 2025, nirepeat lang natin yung ating personal services, may MOOE at saka capital outlay. Following is the budget utilization rate for the CSC. For fiscal year 2023, it stood at 99.99%. For fiscal year 2024, it is at 100%. And as of June 2025, budget utilization stands at 46.29%. As of August or September, however, personal services budget utilization is at 75%, MOOE is at 70%, capital outlay is at 66.4%, and RLIP is at up to 75%. The CSC requested a total of 6.5 billion, while the 2026 NEP is provides for 0.414 billion, which means a total amount of 2.4 billion was removed. The next slides will show budget items not included in the fiscal year 2026 NEP, which we feel are important in the CSC's operations and which we hope will earnestly seek your support, the members of the committee and the chair, to consider at least restoring a portion of the CSC budget proposed that has been removed in the NEP budget. The breakdown in order of priorities are in the subsequent slides. The first priority consists mostly of increase in MOOE for operations and construction of regional and field offices. Karamihan dito ay payment of utilities, pero may construction din po ng offices and then publication of necessary civil service materials. Ang priority number 2 ay salaries of our job order and contract of service workers, which we consider essential for the delivery of our services. And then priority are 3 and 4 are purchases of utility vehicles to replace those that are beyond economic use. Our priority, these are more or less listed already in the slides, which will provide the members of the committee. For the 2026 targets, these are our highlights. For Prime HRM, we will target a minimum of 129 agencies to be awarded bronze, silver, or gold. We will target a minimum of 132 agencies to be accredited and 459 HRM systems to be recognized. In records management, we will maintain a 100% on-time issuance rate for authenticated HR records. In public assistance, we will act on a minimum of 90% client requests received through the contact center ng Bayan and public assistance desk. For the examinations, we will be increasing the slots for various civil service eligibility examinations higher by 42,000 than 2025 number of slots for a minimum of 550,000 slots for 2026. For the appointments program, we will act on at least 86% of appointments received. And for learning and development, we will target the training of a minimum of 85,000 civil servants. For public sector employee relations, our target is to accredit a minimum of 42 public sector employees organizations and to register 56 new CNAs. For the administrative justice pillar, we will commit to decide a minimum of 45% of all pending cases in the national inventory. Regional offices have committed to cleanse their inventories by end 2026 of pending cases in regional offices. We will also embark in 2026 on the implementation of the Philippine Civil Service Modernization Project. For the end year 2025, we are preparing the groundwork for this implementation. We are organizing the project, the management unit, and the TORs for the hiring of specialist supervisors, assistants, and project managers. The project has 3 components. The component 1 involves enhancing Prime HRM and learning and development offerings and systems. Component 2 is the design and rolling out of an HRMIS and payroll system across all government agencies, involving at the first phase more than 40 agencies, including the CSC. The component 3 involves a change management program and communication strategy for the modernization project. The key deliverables for 2026 is the training of human resource management officers and their certification, a continuing HRMO certification program for HRMOs, and we will also be embarking on the recruitment and training of additional assessors to expand the pool of human resource management officers, assessors, and assistants. We will also be digitizing all HR records nationwide as basis of the digitalization required by the HRMIS and payroll system, and we will have an implementation of the new inventory of government human resource system. System development of HRMIS and payroll system begins also in the first quarter of 2026. This is an overview of what we intend to do for 2026. We have just concluded the 125th anniversary of the Civil Service Commission, albeit successfully, and we hope that as we go ahead, we will be faithful to the new slogan or rallying call of the Civil Service Commission. Ang bawat kawani ay gawing lingkod bayani na may puso, dangal at galing para sa bayan. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Chairperson Marilyn Yap. Let's continue with the presentation of CESB so that we'll tackle the civil service group in one go. So we recognize Executive Director Ballesteros.
Thank you. Good morning, Honorable Senator Win Gatchalian and Honorable Senator Padilla. I'm pleased to present the budget proposal of the Career Executive Service Board for the year 2026. As you already know, the Career Executive Service was created in 1972 by Presidential Decree Number 1 to form a continuing pool of well-selected and development-oriented career administrators. The mandate of the CESB is being the governing body of the CES. It is mandated to promulgate rules, standards, and procedures on the selection, classification, compensation, and career development of members of the CES. Our CESB budget structure under the program expenditure classification focuses on our operations, focus on the organizational outcome, on merit and fitness system for career executive service officers, strengthened and pool of globally competitive CESA sustained. We focus our operations on career executive screening and development program, which consists of CES eligibility process and appointment or promotion in CESA rank, CES capacity building or training, and CES performance management and external relations. We have also the support to operations and general administration services. Our budget proposal is aligned with the Philippine Development Plan for 2023 to 2028. We support the PDP sectoral goal on Chapter 14, Practice of Good Governance and Improve Bureaucratic Efficiency. Outcome 4, competent, motivated, and agile, resilient public servants supported, wherein the CS system will be strengthened through merit and fitness, and that potential and qualified third-level officials will undergo the four-stage CES eligibility process, the CES Leadership and Management Proficiency Program or LAMP, and other CES lifelong learning programs for appointment to CES rank to build up a critical mass of CES officers and eligibles. Our performance report for 2024 and first semester of 2025 on the Career Executive Screening and Development Program. Okay. We are monitoring the number of CES positions occupied by CESOs and CES eligibles. This indicator is about the CES officials, CES eligibles, and CESOs appointed to CS positions. And our annual target under the Philippine Development Plan is 50%. As of June 2025, we're at 43%. From November 2022 up to June 30, 2025, the CES board has already recommended 438 officials for CESO rank to the Office of the President. Out of this, as of June 30, 2025, a total of 276 CESO rank appointments were already approved and issued by the President. From the same period up to June 2025, the CES board also approved and conferred CES eligibility to 408 officials. For 2025, our annual target of 100%, meaning 75, out of the target of 74 officials with complete requirements recommended for CESO rank appointments, 74 have already been recommended for CESO rank as of June 2025. Next slide, yes. Okay, our annual target for the number of percent of officials for complete rating with complete ratings or performance ratings processed within 30 days after closing of online submission of all government agencies. We have meet the target of 100% as of June 2025. That's about 2,287 officials in first semester of 2023 and 2,087 officials in second semester of 2023 and 1,977 officials for second semester of 2024. In terms of percent of participants in our training programs rating the programs conducted at least very satisfactory, we have exceeded the target by 99% as of June 2025. This is an illustration of the four-stage CS eligibility process. It consists of CES written examination, the first stage. The second stage is the assessment center. Third stage is the performance validation, and the fourth stage is the panel interview. As of June 2025, we have conducted 2 quarterly CES written examinations already, and this is a quarterly conduct. And then for the second stage, the assessment center, we have already accomplished 16 sessions out of 30 sessions target for the year. It is conducted in the CESB office, where candidates undergo a series of structured activities designed to assess their leadership competencies. For the performance validation, out of the annual estimated AC passers who are for performance validation, the CES board has already conducted 93 validation of 93 candidates as of June 2025. And those who passed the third stage, which is the performance validation, we have already interviewed 80 candidates as of June 2025. Okay. Our comparative budget utilization from FY 2020 up to the first semester of 2025 is on your screen. During the pandemic, we had a utilization rate of 80%, going up to 94% in 2022 and then 92% in FY 2024. For the first semester of 2025, we have already utilized 45% of our budget allocation. Most of our big learning events will be conducted in the second semester. So for our catch-up plan for the second semester, We are, for general administration support services, we are to conduct learning and development trainings and utilization of our conduct of ISO recertification, mid-year performance assessment, year-end performance assessment, and publication of policies issues, procurement of ICT supplies. For the CES eligibility process, we will utilize the remaining balance of 2 million, 2.0 million to conduct 12 assessment center sessions, conduct 2 more quarterly written examination, performance validation of CS candidates and panel interviews, and the conduct of validators orientation and targeted selection interview trainings for our validators and assessors. We will also conduct for the second semester, it's almost done already. We have to conduct 3 batches of 1 Saldiwa and 2 Gabay. These are the courses under our Leadership Management Proficiency Program, Public Leaders Summit, the 3rd and 4th quarter Human Resource Managers Fellowship Meeting, CES Lifelong Learning for Leadership Congress, and CES Executive Wellness Programs. For performance and management and external relations, we will be utilizing the remaining budget of 7 million to conduct preparatory activities and screening and evaluation of our Presidential Gawad CES and Leadership Excellence Award, conduct of the CES Congress in November, conduct of our printing and publication of our public managers and other publications of the CES Board. Our proposed budget for 2026 amounts to 106 million, 6.6 million under the NEP or National Expenditure Program, consisting of 49.5 million for personal services, 0.630 million for capital outlay, and 56.4 million for MOE. This consists of our personal services of 49 million, which is an increase from the previous year's budget by 26%. And then for the MOE, we have 56 million, which is a decrease, reduced by 0.9% from the previous year, and our capital outlay of 0.63 million with an increase of 26%. So our comparative budget, that's the total budget under NEP. Our original proposal was substantially also reduced from the original proposal of 145, which including Tier 1 and Tier 2 proposals. Our NEP was reduced to 102 million. That's a reduction of 42 million or 29% decrease. So we are proposing for the reconsideration of our Tier 2 proposal, which includes additional conduct of CES Leadership Management Proficiency Program. These are programs to accommodate more trainees, CES eligibles who are vying or applying for the CESar rank, and conduct of 6 additional assessment center sessions in order to address the backlog in our AC applicants, the creation of Project Management Monitoring Office for our proposed CESB building project, creation of additional 23 plantilla of the Secretariat, plantilla positions for the CESB Secretariat, and refleeting of our 6 units of motor vehicles, which have already reached their serviceable lifespan, for a total of 34.7 million. Our proposed budget for the eligibility for MOE, the eligibility and rank appointment with amount of 9.6 million will strengthen the merit and fitness in the screening of CES officers in order to infuse the government bureaucracy with well-selected and development-oriented career managers. So, as mentioned, we are And in 2026, we will continue conducting our quarterly nationwide CES written exam, increasing our assessment center sessions from 24 to 30, and for the candidates who pass the AC will undergo performance validation and then panel interview and conduct of trainings more to train more assessors and validators and panel interview. And also the operating expense for the processing of our rank appointments of our officials. The MOE budget of 7.3 million for our professional and career development. This is our commitment is to raise the level of managerial competence of our CES officials and developing deeper sense of commitment and integrity among CES officials, enhance the overall HRD programs for our CES official. This will include also the conduct of three, and if our proposed reconsideration will be approved, to conduct four Saldiwa and Gabay courses, conduct of executive leadership programs such as the CES Conclave, and then next slide, CES Public Leaders Summit, quarterly human resource managers meetings and learning sessions, wellness camp, and annual CES lifelong learning for Leadership Congress. We also intend to strengthen the CES accreditation and equivalency system for executive leadership training programs to engage with institutional training partners for the development and conduct of accredited training programs. Next. For performance management, the budget of 7.8 million will be intended for strengthening the performance evaluation system in all departments to support productivity and accountability and promote the morale and welfare of CESs and eligibles. So the same target of processing the CESPES performance ratings of officials in all agencies, providing agencies with the CESPES report performance ratings of their officials, and provide agency heads concerned. For also under performance management, we will strengthen the CES Presidential Gawad CES Award, administer the CES recognition programs, conduct the screening, selection, production of information, educational materials. Including also in this budget is the annual CES lifelong learning for Leadership Congress for 1,000 participants. Also, we continually conduct the CES Club sessions and strategic conversations with agencies and Association of Career Executives in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, and other external relation activities. For policy and planning, we intend to enhance the policy-making processes with a budget of 1.8 million, review, revisit existing CES policies and formulate new CES policies as instructed by the CS Governing Board, respond and provide legal opinion assistance to for personnel management concerns involving the CES, and regularly monitor the CES occupancy and plantilla information of various government agencies, and also maintain our ISO certification. Next slide. Yes, we will continue the implementation of our approved ISSP with a 10.3 million budget to maintain the online services in our CESB website, the online CESPES, training events, learning management system, and online applications, develop a web mobile application, and also enhance or engage and deploy our executive profiling and CES plantilla monitoring for all agencies, and records management and archiving. For general administration support services, 19.4 million, including our optimizing the financial, material, and human resource services, including maintenance and operating expenses for CES Resource Center. Yes. for COA findings in 2024 and recommendations. These are the COA findings in 2024. To require the members of the GFPS to attend the God-related seminars. This is already implemented. We have conducted trainings of our focal point system and even all the other members of the SESB Secretariat on God-related seminars, and designate God focal person responsible for compliance with all God-related reporting requirements. This is already implemented. Request the COA, GAS, for work around with the rollout activities of the gas and e-budget system. Our finance unit have already undergone the gas training with COA, and the IT group was also deployed or deploy the system in our computer system to roll out the gas. To submit the complete set of monthly and quarterly financial reports and the monthly bank reconciliation statements, together with all the supporting documents to the audit team within the deadline set pursuant to the GAM for NGAS. The SESB accounting and finance team has already also attended, as I mentioned, gas training to enhance the operational efficiency and timely compliance with reportorial requirements. And the gas has been successfully installed and is set for full rollout in the fourth quarter of this year. Included in our 2026 budget proposal is the expansion of additional plantilla for the accounting unit of the SESB Secretariat. So on the securing of permanent committee resolution authorizing SESB to maintain a revolving fund, the SESB maintains a copy of the minutes authorizing the maintenance of the revolving fund, minutes of the meeting of the permanent committee. However, the COA reiterated the need for a permanent committee resolution. Accordingly, we have submitted formal letter of request to the permanent committee requesting the said resolution, and we are currently awaiting its decision. The technical working group of the permanent committee already met and tackled this request, and they're convening the permanent committee on a schedule to be announced within the year, we expect, for the committee to issue that requested resolution. Require the GFPS to prepare and submit the annual GAD plan and budget to the PCW for endorsement and submit a copy to the audit team within the working days of receipt. So we have already trained newly designated employees to ensure the timely submission of our annual GAD plan and budget. For our reports on off-budget accounts, the CES Board derives income primarily from fees collected for trainings, seminars, conferences, and CES eligibility examination. This is authorized under CSC Resolution numbers 90536 and 9731, both issued in 1990. This fund supports the CESB's mandate of professionalizing and strengthening the CES. Following in the screen, we have the actual utilization of the CESB for the following purposes: the CES eligibility process and appointment to rank, CES capacity building, CES performance management, and CES general management and supervision, for a total of 31.8 million in 2024 and 5.6 million as of June 30, 2025. Awards and notable accomplishments. Well, for the 5 consecutive years, and as of late, the 2024 financial statements, we received the unmodified opinion from the Commission on Audit. We obtained also a 4.6 overall rating on our agency performance review for FY 2024 from the Department of Budget and Management, a very satisfactory rating. And we also were cited for 0 negative feedback on CESB service delivery for FY 2024 by the Civil Service Commission's Contact Center ng Bayan. We have also been recognized as one of the outstanding accounting offices for 2024 for the fourth consecutive year by the Association of Government Accountants of the Philippines. Certified, recertified ISO 9001-2015. Thank you. Thank you po, Honorable Senator.
Thank you. Thank you for presentation. We're now open to questions. Any questions, Senator Robin Padilla?
Maraming salamat po sa ating tagapangulo, kay Senator Einstein. Magandang umaga po sa ating mga panauhin pangdangal. Mga mahal naming taga-commission ng civil service, meron lang po akong mga maiksing katanungan patungkol lang po sa ngayon po kasi pinagdiriwang po natin ng Indigenous Peoples Month ngayong Oktubre. At yan pong ating mga IPs, sila po yung may tuturing nating mga kayamanan ng ating bansa. Bagamat sila po ay napapabayaan, pero madalas ay binibigyan ng karangalan natin sa salita. Pero pagdating po sa gawa, medyo kulang. Katulad po ng pagbawas ng budget nila, lahat, maraming bagay. Ngayon po, ang aking pong ilalapit sa inyo, ang una ko pong katanungan, ano po ang puso ng Civil Service Commission sa ating mga IPs?
As of now, walang specific na program for indigenous peoples, but there is a standing policy, has been there for quite some time, for an inclusive policy in terms of recruitment, training, and all the rest of the other services of the Civil Service Commission. So they have access, they can be granted access to our learning programs. Available naman po, i-access lang natin sa ating website. But in terms of yung recruitment into government service, as always, as in all other groups in the country or other sectors, the requirements for entry into the government service will still apply. May 4 pa rin pong qualifications para makapasok sa government service. Ito po yung educational qualification for the position being aspired for, and then yung experience niya sa mga duties and functions na integrated into the position, and then training, as well as yung eligibility, appropriate eligibility. Pero sa ngayon po, as of June 2025, there are a total of 70,180 IPs in the government. Out of 70,180, the majority or 57.60% of IPs are JOs and COs, meaning job orders and contracts of service, while 42.40% or 29,754 are with career and non-career position. In terms of gender, there are more female IPs employed in government with 57.60% out of the total 70,180, while 42.40% are male IPs.
Opo. Napakaganda po na malaman namin, no, na ganyan po yung pagmamahal po ninyo sa ating mga IPs. Familiar po kayo sa IPMRs? Yung tinatawag
Yes.
po natin. Opo. Familiar po kayo sa kanila?
Yes,
Opo.
I have been studying and working in regard to indigenous peoples, beginning with the legislative proposal before for IPRA. I've been working for indigenous peoples for quite some time po already, Senator.
Opo. Marami po kasing lumalapit po sa amin kasi ako po din po ang chairman po ng cultural minorities.
Opo.
Opo. Mahaba na po itong 4 na taon na po sila na naglalabi sa amin patungkol po doon sa mga IPMRs kasi alam naman po natin na sila ay hindi elected sa ating eleksyon pero elected sila doon sa kanilang lugar. Opo,
Yes.
kanilang community.
Sila kasali sa local government.
Opo, sila po ay nagre-represent sa mga local government noong kanilang lugar. Opo. Kung halimbawa, kung ano po yung mga ginagawa doon sa sanggunian na panlalawigan o doon, sila po yung nagre-represent ng kanilang komunidad. Opo. Ang kanila pong termino ay lumalabas lang na 3 taon. Opo. Tama po kayo, no? Sila naman ay nandoon po sa nakapagtapos, sila po yung may educational, no? Sila po lahat ng hinihingi po ninyo ay nandoon sa kanila. Pero meron po silang isang bagay na hindi po nila makuha. Opo, ito po yung tinatawag natin na career service eligibility. Opo. Yun po ang problema. Opo, actually, meron pa nga po kaming panukala, pero para po sa akin, kung madadaan naman natin to sa usapan sa inyong civil service resolution, bakit pa natin pag-aaksayahan ng budget ng bayan, paghihiringan pa, pag-uusapan pa, di ba po? Kung pwede naman po ninyong, sabi nyo nga po kanina, inclusive, ano? Dapat inclusive ang gobyerno natin, lalong-lalo na po sa mga katutubo, ano? Dahil alam naman natin na kanila naman itong Pilipinas bago tayo nagsidatingan dito. Opo. At tanggap natin na special sila. Opo. Very special sila sa atin. Ano? Yung po ba na kasi parang sinasabi dito sa sanggunian, meron po kayo dito eh. Sa sangguniang member eligibility, sabi po dito ng RA 10156, kailangan 6 years. Opo, kasama po sila doon, hindi ba po ma'am? Opo, kasi hindi nga comparable. Opo, kasi uma-attend po sila niyan, sila yung nag-represent ng komunidad nila. Opo. Ang hinihingi po nila sa akin, 4 na taon na po ito. Magmula po nung ako ang humawak, ano? Inihingi po nila na baka pwedeng sila ay pagka maka 3 years na, sila ay eligible na.
Senator, I think that's a very important suggestion, but yung pong limitations po kasi yung special eligibility po ito, wala na po itong exam. Special eligibility for
Opo.
sanggunian officials and then sangguniang kabataan officials. Sa sangguniang kabataan is 3 years lang ang kailangan. Sa sangguniang panlalawigan or panglunsod is 6 years.
Opo.
Ang kailangan lang po siguro kasi batas po tong mga ito.
Yun nga po.
Nakatali po ang kamay namin. I think we should propose a law na including them into the stream.
Kaya nga, yun po
Yes.
ang problema. Pag loan, tagal ma'am. Hindi po ba pwedeng dumaan sa civil service resolution lang?
Wala rin po kaming leeway. However, kung mag-e-exam po sila, we will explore the possibility of providing them the CS preferential rating. Since, di ba,
Po
meron
kasi yung hinihingi nila na sana after 3 years, wala nang examination, eligible na sila.
Batas po talaga yan. Pero kung
Oo.
mag-e-exam, pwede natin sigurong pag-aralan, ipasok sila sa CS Eligibility Preferential Rating na kahit bagsak sila, basta hindi mas mababa sa 70, dadagdagan po natin ng 10 points para makapasa, meron na silang eligibility.
Ba, maganda yun ha.
I think
Baka pwedeng 70 na yung idagdag nyo para 5 na lang. Ano?
Masakit naman po sa merit and fitness natin po yun. Masakit po yun. Or probably,
Di ba?
I mean, these are possible areas of
Kasi
exploration.
maputol ko po kayo. Iba-iba ang kultura natin.
Alam ko po.
Iba-iba ang kultura natin. Iba yung knowledge nila.
Yes.
Iba yung karunungan nila.
Yes.
So, they have this special knowledge, di ba?
Yes.
Yung hindi natin kayang pantayan din yun eh. Meron din silang hindi kayang pantayan sa atin, di ba
Yes.
po? Pero, sa tingin po ba ninyo, hindi possible yon na 70 na yung i-plus nyo, 5 na lang.
Pag-aralan po.
Opo.
Kasi kagaya po yung CS preferential rating ngayon, ang request po naman sa amin, yung 10 years na experience in government, ay
Opo.
bababaan po ng 5 years. It's already being deliberated upon by the Commission. So, pwede rin po nating isali sa
Opo,
committee
ma'am, baka sakali lang po, mapag-usapan po ninyo.
Opo.
Kasi kung ihahambing po natin kasi so totoo lang po yung knowledge nila. Iba yung knowledge nila eh. Iba po yung karunungan nila, iba yung experience nila. Baka lang po kasi kung batas, ma'am, ang tagal kasi 4 na taon na po ito hindi po nakakarating sa floor.
Opo.
Opo, alam naman po ninyo yung dito.
Matagal na rin po ako nagtrabaho sa lehislatura, so alam ko
Opo,
kung gaano
opo.
kabagal. But I think
Baka
mas
itong Indigenous Peoples Month baka magkaroon ng magandang puso sa inyo. Oo, di ba?
ilalagay po natin sa aming policy reforms yung pwedeng CS preferential rating for indigenous peoples. The request, however, is from 70, gagawin na lang 75 or something.
Opo, kung 75 yung passing grade, gawin na lang yung 70 yung points na
80 po yung passing grade
added.
kasi
5 na
80
lang
po.
yung Kasi yung 5 points, itsura na lang. Parang sabi ng tatay ko, pwede na yan, pagka pogi ka, 75 na grade mo sa teacher niyan, kaya puro 75 po ako eh. Ma'am, lang po, konting lang. Tingnan, pag-usapan lang po ninyo,
opo,
kasi kung
pag-aralan
batas,
po
ma'am,
natin.
tagal nito.
I
Opo.
agree. But I
Opo.
think the most promising area would be preferential rating po for indigenous
Opo,
peoples.
sana
In much the
hindi
same
na kami
way-
umabot sa hearing,
Opo.
gastos pa ng bayan.
In much the same
Opo.
way that the possibility of granting the same preferential rating is also being explored for migrant workers.
Yon, okay.
Kasama po sila sa
Oo.
mabibigyan para kahit mabagsak man, may 70, madadagdagan.
Yan, ma'am. Ang galing. Simo, nanganak pa. Kasama na natin yung mga OFW. Ma'am, bali makikipag-coordinate na lang po kami sa inyo.
Nandito naman po, open po kami. Sa akin po, 24 hours a day, you can call me.
Okay, ma'am.
I give out my number to people. That's an open.
Kung ganyan
open
kasarap
po.
kausap itong mga to, baka mag-move na ako. Approve na natin, boss. Salamat po. Salamat. May tanong
Sige
pa po
po.
sila. Salamat po. Salamat po.
Thank you din po. Salamat po.
Thank you, Senator Robin, for those very important questions, especially making sure that the government functions with inclusivity in mind. No? So, mahalaga ho talaga yan. So, I have a few questions. I'll start off.
Yes, please,
Let
sir.
me recognize Senator J.V. Arcito, who's here with us to discuss the budgets of CSE and COA.
Opo.
So, may mga questions lang ako, Chairperson, but I'll start off with some policy questions. CSE's concerned with the morale of the bureaucracy. Tama po ba?
Opo.
So meaning dapat always mataas ang moral ng bureaucracy, no? In many ways, 'di ba? Across the board.
Opo.
Also to increase the morale, we can approach it in many ways,
Yes,
no?
sir. Yes, sir.
Through promotions, through salary, through benefits, so all of
Rewards and
those, to rewards and
recognition,
recognitions. So, but also through tenure.
Yes.
Tama.
Yes, sir.
So tenure is another form of making sure that the morale is always high,
High,
'di ba?
yes, sir.
Kasi kung may tenure ka, assured ka na may trabaho ka
Yes,
every day, 'di
Yes,
ba?
sir.
So I'm on your slide, itong page walang page lang to, total human resource in the bureaucracy.
Opo.
Can you flash that, Comsec?
First slide, I think. Government workforce.
Yung government workforce. Nakita ko kasi dito, can you flash that?
Wala akong malaki.
Comsec. Total human resource in the bureaucracy. So, ang total filled positions is about 2 million.
Yes.
And the JOs and COs is 119,000.
990.
Sorry, 919,000.
Opo, opo.
No? So, that's one, kung isusuma mo lahat yan, that's
3
close to
million.
3 million.
Yes.
Of which one-third is
Is
JOs and
JOs and
COs
COs.
na walang security of tenure. Tama?
Wala po. Wala po.
Buti wala ho dito si Senator Joel Villanueva. Yan ang passion niya eh. No? Every year, ito ang kanyang tinatanong at binabantayan because he's very concerned with yung mga job order and contract of service natin. And I see this across the board in our bureaucracy. Nung rini-review ho namin yung budget ho natin, we always see this in many of the budgets of the different agencies, yung unfilled positions.
Yes.
No? So for example, in 2024, out of the 2 million authorized positions, 157 unfilled. No? So that's almost 10%, no, of the total bureaucracy. And then nakikita namin sa iba-ibang agencies, may mga 50% of their authorized position unfilled. Na, for example, sa Bureau of Treasury, 52%, sa Department of Finance, 53%, sa ano pa ba itong matataas? Bureau of Customs, 37%. Pero yung 37% nila, 2,000 employees ang unfilled. Sa BIR, 27%, but pero pag ginawa mo yung absolute numbers, that's 5,800 positions unfilled. So ang nakikita rin namin trend, no, in the budgeting, pag nagre-review kami, mataas yung unfilled nila, pero kung tumataas yung kanilang professional services expense under the MOE. So ibig sabihin, kumukuha sila ng GO at COS, di ba? So parang para sa akin, counterintuitive yun. Meron kang unfilled, pero kumukuha ka ng GO at COS, di ba? Dapat i-fill up mo na lang yung iyong authorized para may security of tenure. That will improve morale, that will also make them CES eligible, di ba? Kung kukuha sila ng examination. At ang importante dyan, yung benefits makukuha nila, no? Dahil ang GO and CO walang benefits, tama po ba? So walang benefits ho sila. So this is my question, no? In the quest to increase the morale or maintain at least the morale, 1/3 of our workforce is JOs and COS, contract of service, job orders, and then maraming unfilled positions, 157,000 unfilled positions in 2024. So can I get your opinion on this, Chairperson Yap? Kasi meron tayong, ang goal nyo is to increase morale, pero hindi naman natin na-achieve yan dahil mataas ang unfilled at mataas ang JO and CO. What should be, what is your opinion on this, and what is your analysis on this?
I think the bigger problems, Mr. Chairman, is the fact that the JOs and COs are not considered employees of government. So we cannot touch them.
Some of them, alam natin
they
to,
work, masakit nga po kasi.
nagtatrabaho sa kanila 30 years, 40 years. Alam niyo ito lahat, di ba? I'm sure sa COA may mga ganyan rin.
Especially contracts of service, marami po nagtatagal.
Correct. So, pwede bang 30 years ka nagtatrabaho pero hindi ka pa rin...
Hindi ho talaga tama yun. I mean, across national down to local governments, hindi ho talaga tama yung matagal na nagko-contract of service tayo. Yun na nga po, labas po sila. I mean, it's not I'm washing my hands, but we can engage in policy discussion on this. Labas po sila kasi sa jurisdiction ng Civil Service Commission. We cannot regulate them. Ang regulatory agencies po for them are the Department of Budget and Management and COA po. Hindi ko po binabato sa COA, pero
Katabi niyo sa chairman.
pagkatabi po kami ni Chairman. Pero as of now po, pinag-uusapan po ng COA, DBM at Civil Service Commission, itong question po ng possible benefits on a longer term for contracts of service and JOs. Yun po ang problema namin. I think ang contributory factor din kaya pag minsan hindi na-fill up yung 150,000 na vacancies, kahit maraming JOs and COs, yun pong fit ng qualifications for the vacant positions ay hindi magtugma kahit applyan ng JOs at saka COs. Wala rin silang eligibility that is appropriate or marami po kasi sa technical services na nagbibigay, consultancy services for one, they don't want to get into the stream of government employment. Kaya pinipili nila yung COS na positions. Having said that, however, marami naman sa kanilang kumukuha ng civil service eligibility. So my personal sense, and I think we share it with the Commission, is that kailangan pong tignan po yung overall policy governing JOs and COs, and it has to be something that probably will be done through legislation, even if it takes a long time, or something that gives authority for us to compel a more stable set of benefits or tenure incentives for JOs and COs.
I think dahil sa constitutional mandate ng CSE to be the central personal
Personal
agency of
agency.
government.
Yes.
So CSE should look at the entire workforce of government. No?
Yes.
I know that you don't regulate JOs and COS, but you regulate the entire workforce of
Yes.
government. And if the problem is itong mga COs and JOs hindi ma-fit doon sa qualification ng mga positions, then we should also look at that.
Yeah.
Ang punto ko lang, we have to look at government
As a
in
whole.
its entirety.
As a
Hindi
whole.
pwede lang yung, tignan lang namin itong mga eligible lang. Pero yung eligible, hindi natin titignan because government functions as one.
Yes,
Isa lang ang kanyang function. And
I-
alam ko, marami talaga tayong mga, sayang wala Senator Joel, no? But meron siyang data na iba, 30 years, 40 years. Ang tagal na, nag-retire na sila. GO pa rin, COS pa rin.
Opo.
And then nag-a-apply naman sila pero hindi naman nakakapasok doon sa eligible. So we have to look at that in its entirety.
That's the reason also for the preferential rating for JOs and COs para madagdagan yung kanilang opportunities to get in. But more than that, I think is the idea of yung wala kasi silang employment status kaya hindi mo maano. Our suggestion, for example, in the House of Representatives was since their employment in government is governed by contract, maari sigurong may pulisiya ang gobyerno na i-integrate doon sa contract yung at least the fundamental benefits that they should be receiving more or less comparable to the benefits being given to regular employees. Although yung ating mga contracts of service ho, meron na sila ngayon existing na parang incentive, may additional sila na 20% incentive over their pay. Kaya marami din po kung mas gusto ang COS kesa pumunta sa regular plantilla position. Kasi pag i-add mo po yung 20% na dagdag sa kanilang sweldo, comparable na po yung position nila doon sa regular plantilla position. So the whole idea or this whole situation about JOs and COs requires an overall policy review. But in the meantime, I think the most immediate we can do is yung to look into the contractual provisions, and I think not by law, but it can be integrated by executive order probably, or the DBM order, that a basic set of benefits should be given to them that is comparable, and then probably the idea of more stringent implementation of provisions and a limited hindi sila pwedeng magtagal ng 10 years or 20 years or 30 years na ano. We are maling pinag-usapan sa last na commission meeting namin and our dialogues, regular dialogues sa commission, na kailangan maglabas, possibly we can put in, but yun nga, hands tied kami, na kung pwede kaming maglabas ng pulisiya na walang dapat magtagal na contract of service or job order ng mahigit na ganitong years. Kanya lang, the other argument is that, paano kung wala na silang mapasukan, ililimit mo yung kanilang, di wala rin naman silang sweldo. May counterbalance po kasi yung tanggalin natin ito, ilimit natin ito. Marami namang hindi makakapasok. Inaaliw na lang po natin ang ating sarili na kahit papano yung JOs and COs, while hindi pa pareho ang benepisyo sa regular employees, meron silang pwedeng mapasukan sa gobyerno at magkakasweldo sila on a regular basis, at least for the time that they are in a JO or COS position.
To be honest, if you look at this number, and 1/3 of the workforce of government is on a JO or COS basis, parang temporary to, walang
Yes,
security of
yes,
tenure,
wala.
walang benefits. For me, if I look at this scenario, there's something wrong that 1/3 of our workforce in government, wala siyang security of tenure, wala siyang benefits.
I agree, sir.
And ako, if you ask me, my personal opinion, dapat they should be treated the same way as any other government
I
official
agree,
because
I agree.
sila ay nagtatrabaho sa gobyerno,
I agree.
nagbibigay ng service. Lalo na pag tumatagal ng 30 years.
I agree.
Lalo na pag tumatagal ng 30 years. Ngayon, if you talk to COA, of course, COA naman, their mandate is to audit, to make sure that everything is in order in terms of financials. Ang DBM naman, budget, yan naman ang kanilang focus. Ang GOCOs, parang walang, kanya-kanyang agency, kanya-kanyang policy yan no?
Yes.
So what I want to request from sa CSE is take the cudgels for the JOs and COS from a analysis
Point of
and
view, yes,
and recommendation point of view. I know you don't regulate them, but
Yeah.
kailangan lang merong tumingin nito as a whole eh.
Opo.
No?
Yun po yung inputs namin dun sa dialogue with COA and DBM, how to deal with this condition of JOs and COs.
And then can you submit to us your recommendation, no? A
Sige
policy
po.
recommendation. If
Sige
we need
po.
a law, then we'll do a
Sige
law.
po. We will
no?
do that,
If you kung kaya
Chairman.
ma-address, sabi nga ni Senator Robin, kung kaya through a policy issuance, mas maganda 'yon, no?
We will do that,
Through a
Senator.
policy, baka si presidente can issue an executive order,
We
'di
will
ba,
do
para
that,
mabilis.
Senator.
But ang punto ko lang naman, itong 119,000, these are the people who fell
Help
off the
us.
cracks.
Yes.
Walang tumitingin sa kanila.
Yes.
No? Si Senator Joe lang actually. Pero from a policy point of view, walang tumitingin sa kanila. So it's about time na tignan mabuti ito at mag-recommend sa amin, no, sa legislative kung anong policy na pwedeng gawin or anong law na pwedeng gawin para matulungan naman natin sila.
We will do that, sir.
Oo, kasi ang CSC is overall ay tinitignan nyo yung lahat, no? Although yun na nga, you don't regulate this, but you look at the entire government bureaucracy,
I agree,
no? Through a
Senator.
manpower.
We will commit to providing you a policy study on JOs.
Yes,
and
thank you.
COs. Thank you.
Another one is yung ito, very passionate ako dito naman yung senior high school graduates.
Opo.
Kasi nung nag-shift tayo to K-12 in 2012 at nagkaroon tayo ng senior high school graduates in 2021 ba? No? 2021, no? Gobyerno ang lumabag doon sa K-12 law because hindi tayo tumatanggap ng K-12. Wala tayong service standard for K-12 graduates, no? And so tayo nagmandato sa mga kababayan natin mag K-12, kumuha ng senior high school, pero tayo namang gobyerno ang hindi kumukuha ng senior high school. So I want to get an update on itong correction na dapat natin gawin. Dahil kung tayo nagmandato sa K-12 at senior high school, dapat kumpiyansa rin tayo, confident tayo na magagaling sila. Tayo rin nang kumuha sa kanila. No? May I get some updates on that?
Ang latest po because of the demand, we were monitoring you conducted hearings and yung employability ng K-12 graduates. Na-amend na po yung education qualification standards for first level entry into the government service. It now allows graduates of junior and senior high school to be employed to qualify. Meron na silang educational qualification for first level positions in the bureaucracy. But meron pa rin naman yung mga ibang qualifications that they can comply with, but at least the educational qualification is already there. Ni-recognize na yung pag-graduate nila ng junior and senior high school as qualifying them for first level positions in the bureaucracy.
Level position. So those who are watching our
Administrative
hearing.
support,
So pwede na ho yung junior high
clerical.
school,
Yes,
which is
yes,
grade
yes.
10,
This
and
is
then
the
senior
result.
high school is
Yes.
grade 12.
Yes.
So allowed na ang mga agencies
Allowed na
to get.
silang mag-apply, opo.
Okay. And what are those first level positions?
Other are clerical and other administrative support jobs. Meron din pong trades and crafts. And then custodial positions. Yeah. Crafts, trades, custodial positions, administrative support, clerical, di ba? Records, assistance support, mga ganong klase po
Okay.
ng trabaho sa first level.
Kailangan ba nila mag-service civil service eligibility
No, I don't.
exam?
Ang first level ay meron. Sub-pro, sir. Sub-pro.
What is sub-pro?
Sub-professional and then professional. First
Okay.
level,
So meaning hindi na nila kailangan mag civil service exam.
Kailangan pa rin.
Kailangan nila.
Kailangan pa rin mag-sub-pro.
So ang senior high school nagagraduate, gusto magtrabaho sa gobyerno at first level positions, kailangan mag-civil service
O
exam.
mag-subpro siya, pero ligtas na siya sa educational requirement. Dati may
Okay.
higher education.
Pero mahirap pumasa. Nakita ko 14% lang ang passing rate. No? So, maraming mga side comments ho dito at tumatango. Let us put it on record na maraming nag-agree. Which is good.
But
If you ask me, mas maganda na mahirap pumasa. Ibig sabihin, quality ang pumapasok kaysa maraming pumasa. Baka hindi quality. But I think 14% is really...
But it has been,
maybe this is the lowest.
Tumataas na po because, I mean, in 2024, nakarating po tayo ng 17%, preceded by about 5 years of 11%. Tumaas tayo ng 2024 ng 17%, nag-14% tayo ng 2023 and 2024. 2025, nag-15% na po ulit tayo.
So mas mahirap pa maging abogado? Mas mahirap pa pumasa ng CSC kaysa maging abogado?
Marami na pong nagsabi yan sa amin kasi po I think the difference is yung type ng exam. Sa pag-abogado kasi or teacher or engineer, focused po yung discipline na pag-e-examan mo. Ito lang, yung engineering skills na nag-specialize ka. Ito po kasi aptitude.
Pero ang workaround kasi niyan is magsi-COS siya.
Yeah.
Tama?
Yes.
So doon ang nagiging butas.
Yes.
14% nga ang pumapasa, marami bumabagsak. Ang ginagawa naman, magsi-COS route naman siya.
OJ.
So it defeats the purpose rin. Baka there's, from a policy, ang daming yes po dito.
Pero
Maraming nag-agree sa akin.
I know.
No, but ang ano ko lang, baka from a policy standpoint, you have to look at the work around kasi baka naman nag-CCUS sila dahil hindi sila pumapasa, then it defeats the purpose of the civil service eligibility.
Kasi yung fit po kasi ng kahit may eligibility ka, perong training, experience, wala ka nun. Yun kasi yung hindi nagmamatch yung qualification standards. And this is why also, kasi outdated na rin po yung qualification standards natin. Ang last review was 15 years ago. Marami na pong outdated na positions, marami nang mababa ang sweldo na positions, IT na po tayo. Ang sweldo ng mga IT ang bababa pa. So we have a new study, we have embarked on a study together with the UP and SIPAG to review the qualification standards across all positions. Probably we can finish this in 2 years or 3 years para ma-submit to the President and to the appropriate agencies for review para matignan po yung qualification standards natin. Kasi ano na po, masyado mas matanda pa po sa akin.
So can we maraming policy review that you need to do.
Yes.
Napansin ko lang ito I
Yes.
think na yung mga nandito would agree na nagiging lusot lang nila is mag-COS. So it
Yes.
defeats the purpose. No?
Yes.
Bakit pa tayo mag-exam kung pwede ka naman mag-COS? No? Maybe you should look at that. Hindi ko alam anong solution, Chairperson, but I'm just saying maybe you should look at the entire continuum.
Magkakadugtong
Oo,
po
correct,
yan,
yung continuum.
Magkakadugtong po yan, systems po yan. Like, we cannot talk about qualification standards and etc. without again looking at the kind of exams that we have.
Kasi I think in all
It's aptitude. It does not prepare you for government service. There's numerical, analytical, language mastery, all 30%, 35%. Ang general information, which is knowledge of government, is only 5%, which is very tragic for me. There are so many
kinakatakutan ko, pwede ang senior high school pwede na, pero hindi naman sila papasa.
Exactly.
Diba?
Pero alam ko dun sa battery ng senior high school, sir, yung kanilang curriculum, papasa yan.
Papasa sila.
Papasa yan, sir. Mas fresh pa yung kanilang utak
Oo.
sa general education principles.
Do you know how many positions are available for first
Although
level?
there is also the cultural thing, sir. Ang ating karamihan ng ahensya natin, ang preference pa rin graduates.
Yes, kasi supply and demand yan
Yun ang masakit. Unless we do some affirmative action and ask and tell them, could you please hire at least these people for this?
Do you know meron bang how many positions are available for first level positions for senior high
meron
school?
ba tayong
Do you have
data sa
any
first level
idea?
positions?
Kahit na estimate lang.
Can you submit the data?
Meron kahit na estimate lang. Wala kayo ngayon para lang marinig na may
first
available
level out of
for senior high school. Just para marinig nila that and they'll be
Mas
encouraged
marami
to
ang middle
apply.
Mas marami ang second level. Yung first level na data, akin na.
More or less lang, more or less. No, not
There are 83,000 unfilled first level positions.
first level. So that's
Yes.
the potential for our senior high
For
school
our
to
senior
apply
high school,
apply
yes,
to.
sir.
All right. Sige.
I think you just opened another area for CS preferential rating. I don't know. Just to allow them to get in.
Baka pwede. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So, ang recommendation ko lang, Chairperson, is to look at the entire continuum, no? From the examination
Yes. Lahat
to
po.
the
The whole
COS,
thing. Opo.
to the senior high school.
Opo.
Kailan dugtong-dugtong kasi siya eh.
Isa pong stream po ito eh. Pagpasok namin sa Civil Service Commission.
Kasi
the
alam ko yung
policy-
mga ibang agency kaya nagsi-COS kasi mahirap kumuha ng legible na pasok doon sa ano eh.
sa qualification
Yes,
standards. Yes.
yeah.
At saka walang room to maneuver. It
Yeah.
is this or this. Wala siyang equivalencies. Like say for example, if you say training for this number of hours and this area, wala bang equivalent?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Senator JV, do you have any questions to CSC? May CSC ka ba?
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to take advantage. I'd like to thank the Civil Service Commission for acting on as what I can say is a parochial concern, no, doon po sa amin sa San Juan. And also nice to see Chairperson Marilyn Yap. Siya po ang SecGen namin nung ako'y nando sa House of Representatives. Of course, my only memorable stint in the House. First of all, I'd like to thank Civil Service Commission for their prompt action on the issue of yung San Juan employees, lalo na yung mga department heads, whose terminal leaves were withheld. No? Kakaawa man, hindi po dahil sa nag-aano po ako, pasalamat na ako that finally most of them already received their terminal leave after 6 years. Kasi 2019 po nagtapos yung kanilang mga kasabay po ng mother ko, no? Most of the a lot of the department heads were terminated or not renewed, pero matagal sa kanila nagserbisyo rin. And I would say they were victims of vindictive politics kasi siguro Chairperson Yap, you would agree that terminal leave, pera po nila yon. They earned that, di ba? Kasi po, kaya nga terminal leave, in years of service, may computation yan eh. Naipon, no? So, iba doon, 30 years, 35 years, kaya na 20 years, and hindi ibinibigay, no? And that yun siguro maliit na bagay para sa kanila, pero for them, that's a big, malaking bagay po yun, no? Doon sa mga nag-terminal leave. So, I'd like to thank Civil Service kasi po ito'y in-elevate po ng ARTA, referred to you by si Director General Ernesto Perez, no? Nag-file kasi po yung mga concerns on one department heads and employees because of their terminal leave that was withheld with the ARTA, but it was referred to Civil Service. Because of the prompt follow-ups, talagang tinutukan po ng Civil Service. Whoever was in charge, sino man director po yun, I just like to thank them. Kasi po, if this happens, doon po sa amin, I hope this does not happen also in other LGUs. Kasi talagang nangyayari po yan, Mr. Chair. Alam naman, buti, pag yung po may change of administration, especially kung hindi magkakampi, talagang nagkakaroon po ng gantihan ng politika, ng vindictiveness. So, thank you very much to Civil Service kasi maaring no? Terminally, pero that means a lot to these employees who have served San Juan very well for many, hindi nga years decades. So, maraming salamat po sa inyo tungkol po dito. Yung tanong ko na po, ma'am, doon po sa, pag sinabing seso, that means may na po yun, no? May security of tenure din, dagdag seso. Ang nagtataka lang po ako doon sa, although natanong ko na rin po nung DOH budget hearing, most of the USECs and ASECs of Department of Health were replaced, no? Nagulat ako kasi nung humarap po ako, being the principal sponsor and author of the Universal Healthcare, marami po sa kanila nakatrabaho ko, and a lot of them were part and played an important role in the passage of this landmark legislation. Kaya lang nagulat po ko, doon kung ano man to, you can answer kung ito ba'y nag-a-apply sa kanila or pag nasa USEC level, ASEC level ba, hindi na ho applicable yung sa seso. Kasi ang worry ko lang po rito, Mr. Chair, yung pong institutional memory, no, of the agency or department. Kaya nga po may seso eh. Kasi po, to ensure that there is continuity, di ba? May continuity, no, na may iwan na alam po yung programa. Nagulat po ako sa DOH, ang naiwan na lang po ay si Secretary Herbosa, but most of the USECs and the ASECs were replaced. Eh, syempre naano ko dahil wala na yung mga dating kausap natin. So how will we implement better yung universal healthcare? Gayong wala na po yung mga may alam po sa programa, no? Sila USEC, sila nag-acting secretary pa, Dr. Rosario Vergere, Aquiles Bravo, who are CESU 2 rin to, mga CESU 2 sila. And Dr. Kenneth Ronquillo, CESU 3. Ayun lang po, ma'am. Baka nabigyan ko kayo na pero I was just surprised.
Before I ibigay ko sa CASB po, ang karamihan po kasi ng USEC at saka ASEC ay presidential appointees. I don't know the details of their separation from the service, but if it is a decision of the Office of the President, hindi po natin maaano yon. However, meron namang safety net po ang ating mga career executive service officials. They are not removed from office. Meron pong pool na pinaglalagyan muna sa kanila sa CES board. There is this pool of professionals until they are deployed to appropriate agencies fitting their qualifications. So may safety net po yung CESB appointees. But I appreciate yung point po ni Senator na silang may institutional memory. Alam na po nila yung pagtakbo ng proyekto, tapos tatanggalin mo, tapos yung learning curve ng susunod, medyo mahirap-hirap na naman.
Yan nga po, Chairperson, no? I thank you for agreeing with me. Yung institutional memory is very important. Kasi, presidential appointees may come and go, may bagong administrasyon, pero dapat may naiiwan ho talaga. Who knows yung history ng mga programa and of course yung mga proseso at yung mga information about the institution. So, yun na po ang ko, because I was so surprised, Mr. Chair, when we conducted the hearing, wala na yung mga kausap ko noon when we were drafting the universal healthcare, and these are very good people, I would say, career officials. So pag presidential appointee yung seso na you give it up already, yung hindi naman.
You don't give up your CESO rank or rating, you still maintain it. Hindi kaya nga security of tenure sila eh. Ilalagay po muna sila sa isang
Na different pool na lang.
until yung kumbaga ihahanapan sila ng paglalagyan na aangkop sa kanilang qualifications at sa kanilang rank. Ganun po ang ginagawa.
Okay, just wanted to be clear about this, no? Kasi lang I hope in the future then that this yun yung concern ko, yung continuity is very important, no? And I think that's where the CESO rank plays an important role. And again, Mr. Chair, yun lang po ang ko sa CSC. I'd like to thank you again for yung inyo pong ginawa po para sa amin sa San Juan, especially for the department heads and the employees whose terminal leave, siguro mga 30 of them, no? Na 30 or 40 of them na talagang nakuha nila after 2 years, 3 years, after 6 years. And I think that's very unfair because that's money that really belongs to them. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chairperson. I just have a few more items in the budget naman. And this is based on the COA report. Binabasa naman Chairman Cordoba yung COA report. Sinuseryoso ho talaga namin to. In 2021, ang traveling expense ng CSC is 2 million. And then in 2024, umakyat siya ng 38 million. And then now there's a request for 40 million. Is there any particular reason bakit from 2 million tumaas siya to all the way to 4 million in a span of 4 or 5 years?
I cannot dare on this, Senator, because I was not yet in the commission at the time. It's 2024,
2021 is 2 million.
and then
Tapos 2023, 28, 2024, 38, and then 2025, 40. Ngayon 40. So,
walang biyahe sa period ng pandemic, pero umakyat po siya ng after the pandemic.
So the pandemic time in 2021.
Opo.
So hindi bumabiyahe.
Opo.
Okay.
Marami po kaming, as far as I know, maraming commitments sa international civil service organizations ang commission, and that's the only places where the civil service officials go. Yung ASEAN, there's a group of ASEAN civil service associations, meron tayong Europa, meron din yung sa European civil service associations, and then merong mga seminars, di ba? Anti-corruption conferences. Kasama sa UNCAC, it's an interagency participation. So ito ho yung mga pinagpapadalahan lang po namin
Okay.
ng
In the same manner, I also saw in the COA report, nung 2020, to rent and lease expense naman, 2021, 800,000, then 2024, 24 million. Ba't ang laki ng itinaas?
anong rent and
What's
lease?
the reason for that? And then bumaba siya. By 2025, naging 4 million ulit. So anong... Ang laki ng tinaas eh.
Okay. According to our finance officer, sir, yung 2021, again, lahat po ng ating learning and development activities, from seminars to congresses, everything, were online. Nag-shift na po tayo ngayon
This is
sa...
for rent and lease expense?
Opo, yung mga convention areas, yung training facilities, yung mga, support systems for training, like nag-hire sila, nagre-rent sila ng...
This is not office space ito? Hindi ito office space?
Hindi po.
Oh, okay. This is
Hindi po
rent
office
rent
space.
of...
Mga events, mga trainings,
Okay.
mga congresses, and then seminars.
Okay.
Nag-face-to-face na po
And
kasi.
then bakit siya bumaba? Biglang from 2024, 24 million, biglang 2025, 4 million.
Nag-shift po kasi tayo sa paggamit na ng aming resource center. May ginawang resource
Okay.
center. So karamihan na ngayon, pwede nang instead na one time, big time yung training, pinaparcel na namin yung training, doon nagagamitin para mabawasan yung expense sa rental ng facilities.
Okay. So meron na kayong sariling
Oo, pero
training facility, in other words?
There is a building that
Okay.
can accommodate, for example, maximum of about 300 or 400 participants. So kung dati 1,000 ang participants, we can parcel the activity to three activities, and we can hold them there. Yung mga medyo talagang... Oo. Meron na rin yung mga regional offices, karamihan sa kanila may available na area they can use for their own training activities. So
Okay.
medyo nababawasan.
So in other words, mas economical yung magkaroon ng sariling
Magkaroon ka ng
training
sarili.
facility dahil doon na
Yes,
kayo
sir.
nagte-training.
Yes, sir.
Alright.
Kasi ang naging guideline po namin ngayon, lahat ng bagong facilities magkaroon ng conference area para doon na nila i-conduct yung kanilang activities.
And then I saw also na meron kayong isang program, yung contact center ng bayan.
Apo.
Ah,
Matagal na po ito.
oo. Ito ba ay sumbungan? Ganyan
Bagong,
ba ang kanyang
bagong window
design?
po yung binabalak pa lang po na bagong window yung sumbungan, pero ito yung requests for assistance. Request for information. Like, paano ang gagawin pag ganito? They ask us through online, through letters, through Facebook, ganon. May mga questions sila. Yung isa naman,
Di ba
is-
meron ng 888? Ang,
kasama po yun. Pinapadala po ng 888 sa amin, binumabagsak sa CCB, aaksyonan po namin.
ano yung, itong contact center ng bayan? Anong mga type of calls na tinatanggap ninyo? Anything under the sun?
Lahat ng mga kailangan nila from government. For example, saan ako pwedeng kumuha ng ganito? Saan
hindi-
ako pwedeng mag-apply ng ganito?
Okay.
Ganun po yun eh.
So hindi siya sumbungan, it's more parang
hindi pa po.
information request.
But the latest...
Tanungan ng bayan, parang ganun.
Ay, yung parang ganun. At referral, saan ko po ito ibibigay? Sino pong mag-action nito? Ifa-follow up namin dun sa pinag-referan namin ng agency. Yung sumbungan ng bayan po, ito yung bagong proposal na idadagdag sa CCB. Yung mga nagko-complaint ba?
Pero meron na kasing 8888, di ba? Tuloy-tuloy yung... I know that in
Nauna
8888.
po kami doon, nag-training sila sa amin, yung 888.
Oh.
Pero ngayon,
But it's still there in
it's still
888,
there.
di ba?
It's still there for the executive.
Ang ano ko lang, baka
Maganda
mag-duplicate,
naman, hindi naman po
redundant.
Naayos na ho yung coordination between 888 and CCB. Meron na hong system in place.
As long as hindi redundant, kasi that's also one of the things that we're reviewing in the budget. Kung may mga mandates or may mga programs na
Hindi naman po.
redundant,
I-refer nila,
sayang lang.
Tapos yung response, ibabalik namin sa kanila. Parang
Okay.
ganon. And then yung sinasabi niyo yung sumbungan ng bayan, yun ho sana yung bagong wing ng CCB for us. Meaning, pag naka-receive ka ng complaint, hindi na lang sasabihin mo, dapat mag-file ka ng ganito, dapat mag-file ka ng ganyan, dapat pumunta ka sa ganito. Tulungan mo na siyang mag-draft ng kanyang complaint.
Mm.
You assist them already.
This is complaint against an erring government
Every
employee,
government official, yes.
not complaint against government itself or
Not government.
particular
Specific
service.
actions of government officials.
Okay.
Specific actions. Kasi kung tatanggapin mo pa yung complaint, meron ginawa sa akin, meron akong ginawa ganyan, pumunta ka sa ganito, wala rin pong mangyayari kasi doon. Eh di tulungan mo na lang ng mag-file ng complaint.
Oh, kasi meron din pagdating naman ng red tape, merong ARTA.
Yeah.
Meron, 'di ba? May 888.
Yeah.
Meron kayong contact center ng bayan. So, pag may mga ganitong redundant programs,
May network.
we suggest to the agency na make sure na klaro yung mandato, para hindi rin magulo sa tao. Saan ba ako tatawag?
Kasi,
888 ba? Contact
yeah.
ng bayan ba? O,
Kasi yung ARTA po kasi limited sila, yun lang yung
Red tape.
Yung red tape, yun lang meron silang 3720,
Yeah.
You stay there. If it is like this, you act within 3 days. If it is like this, within 7 days. If it is more technical, it is 20 days and probably another
But I think
extension.
kung ang
EOD
purpose
good.
naman is to give information, okay naman yan. At least
yes po. Yes po.
yung mga tao talaga minsan kailangan ng guidance.
Yes.
Oh, kailangan ng guidance.
Ang mahal po ng maghanap ng assistance ng abogado, mag-draft ng complaint, mahal po eh.
Oo. Alright. So kayo na tumutulong sa kanila?
Ito po yung bubuksan po sana namin by the end of the year.
Okay. Okay.
Kasi wala pang ganyan ngayon eh. Tanggap lang ng complaint.
So kung meron silang complaint sa isang government employee, tutulungan nyo na rin sila mag-draft ng complaint?
Yes. Makita namin na i-validate, merong grounds.
Kayo na rin magbabalidate nun, magbavet in other words.
Tutulungan siya sa pag-validate and then we draft the complaint and then we refer to the appropriate agency.
Okay. Alright. Sige. And then to SES-B, I saw in your presentation itong
Ses board.
outcome indicator, percent of SES positions occupied by CESO and SES eligibles. Can we flash that, ComSec? Ang target is 50%. And then accomplishment in 2024, 52%. Can we flash that?
Ano kaya yun, kapatid? Ano kaya yun? Yung
Yan. Hindi ba hindi, before that. Percentage of positions occupied by CESO and SES eligibles. Yan. Hindi ba dapat ang target dito is 100%? Kasi gusto mo lahat occupied by CESO and SES eligibles, 'di ba? Yun yung sinasabi ni Senator JV kanina eh. 'Di ba? Why are we by making it 50%? Ang feeling ko dito we're shortchanging government kasi ang gusto natin lahat, 'di ba? But realistically hindi mangyayari 'yon, no? That's true. But as a matter of target, 'di ba natin gusto buo 100%?
Hello, yes. Yun po, kasi yung SES occupancy po, it's number of CESOs and CESs occupying CS positions. So, nagdadepende po yan sa, kasi gumagalaw po yung figures na yan, no? Depende po yan sa naa-appoint by the OP into the CES positions. Depende po rin yan kung may mga creation of new positions na ang DBM po ang nag-a-approve. Yan po yung gumagalaw at hindi lahat ay na kumbaga, moving target po kasi yan, sir. So it depends on the approval also of recommended officials for CESO ranking. Kasi po ang CES board po is only recommendatory, and then it's the Office of the President also po who approves the appointment of an official to an CESO rank. So yung CES position, appointment to CES position, and also the appointment to CES rank. And then yung denominator po niya is gumagalaw din po. Depende po may creation of new positions or classification of positions.
Yeah.
So sa ngayon po, ito po yung nagiging trend. We just monitor. Actually, ideally, yes.
Diba,
This is an indicator of professionalizing the bureaucracy. That's also what we want to we aim for. But unfortunately,
So what we're saying here is 43% of all positions in government are
CES positions lang po.
are CES eligible.
Hindi po, bali, kasi po sir, meron po mga positions
Occupied
in the
po eh.
third level or na hindi po siya considered as CES positions like coterminus, hindi po siya. So, bali po, ang minomonitor po namin is those classified as CES position.
Oo, but in a perfect world, dapat 100% to,
Sana
diba?
po, yeah po.
Oo,
Opo.
so just review this target kasi nga
Opo.
ang gusto natin professionalize
Yes.
lahat eh, no? So
Opo.
I'm just saying lang na masyadong mababa yung 50% if our target is to professionalize. So
Yes po,
just
sir.
review this matrix. And then I saw in your budget na tumaas yung meron kayong training and scholarship expense, tumaas siya by 50%.
Training.
Oo.
Wala po kaming
Training and scholarship expense from 8 million to 12 million. 8 million in your MOOE. What training or scholarship are you giving?
Sir, wala po kaming scholarship.
Training meron?
Yung training po nito ay para po sa mga CES eligibles who are applying for the CESO rank.
Okay.
So we conduct training, yung what we call the Leadership and Management Proficiency Program, yung Saldiwa and Gabay, which is part of their requirement to become a CESO. So we are trying to increase po sana yung proposal namin for an additional batches para po yung mga naging CES eligible can also be accommodated for more classes in training for the requirement for their CESO ranking.
Okay. And how many do you train? You train them para ma-promote sila, di ba?
For the ranking po.
For the ranking. Ranking is
Also,
promotion.
Yes po.
Oo.
And also, ito pong mga training na to, nagagamit din po nila for their career progression. Like sa DepEd po, yung mga third level officials po natin dyan, required po sila. So, additional points din po yun for their promotion.
Okay. And how many do you train every year?
Every year po, bali, every batch po kasi ng Saldiwa and Gabay, we at least 35.
Konti
So we
lang,
conduct, opo, kasi ano po siya, 16 days, 14 days residential training. And then there's a community immersion sa mga poor communities. Our eligibles are, they reside for 5 days with poor families to be immersed in their conditions so that they will be more grounded. When they do policy making, program implementation, nandito po sa perspective nila yung
But
deeper
35
commitment.
a year is not so much.
No, it's not 35. Per batch po ito. So we
So
have
how many a year?
4 batches times,
So 120,
Opo.
more or less, no?
not only 120, kasi dalaw po may gabay. So, bali, mga 300 po.
300 a year.
Apo.
Okay. All right. Okay. I don't have any more questions to both CSC and CSB. May question pa?
Ginoong Pangulo, aking pong sinususog ng kanila pong budget ay idalhin na po natin sa plenaryo. I so move.
Thank you. With that motion, any objection? Hearing none. The budget of the Civil Service Commission, its attached agency, the Career Executive Service Board, is now deemed submitted for plenary's consideration, subject to the discussion and the submission of documents requested. So maraming salamat po for coming over. Thank you. All right, so you can be excused, ma'am, and then we'll hear the COA's budget.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Senator.
Bigay ko na lang yung ano sa kanila, yung tatlo.
Ha? Pwede bang pakuha mo na lang to?
Yes po.
Pupuntahan ko lang siya.
We'll suspend for 1 minute. so that the CSC and the CESB can um, organize themselves. Briefing, and let's all settle down. So the next will be a presentation from the Commission on Audit, headed by Chairman Cordoba. So you may proceed, sir.
Good afternoon po, Mr. Chairman and Senator Padilla. The one who would present the budget of the Commission on Audit would be ASCOM Nilda Plaras. Thank you very much.
Ascom Plaras, you're recognized.
Good morning po sa ating lahat. And I'm going directly to the budget of the Commission on Audit under the fiscal year 2026 of the National Expenditure Program. So we have a total budget of 15 billion 73 million and 760,000 to be exact. And this the breakdown of this in accordance with the appropriation source is the agency-specific budget of 13.878 billion and the retirement and life insurance premium of 1.195 billion. Under the agency-specific budget, this is comprised of the personal services of 13.41 billion, maintenance and other operating expenses of 724.927 million, and the capital outlay of 112.374 million. So that's for all for our presentation pa.
Lisa, kanina ang tagal dito. Kanina yung dalawang mas maliit na budget, mas matagal. Hindi pa ako tapos sa
Okay lang, diretso na tayo.
Ni question. Senator Robin, you have the honor of
Opo, boss,
starting
para
off.
medyo
Okay.
mabuksan mo pa
Hindi
yan.
ko pa nabubuksan yung notes ko.
Ako lang po ay ginoong tagapangulo, gusto ko lamang pong magbigay ng pahayag. Wala naman po akong tanong. Kung di pahayag lang po sapagkat noong 19th Congress, ako po ay naging sponsor ng Senate bill. No? Ito po yung para sa strengthening yung audit. Opo. Nagkaroon po ito ng magandang progreso sa House. Mabilis pong nakalusot sa Kamara hanggang sa makarating po sa atin. Hanggang sa dumating pa po ito sa debate. Ano? Nakarating po ito sa interpellation. Ngunit gusto ko lamang pong congratulate ang COA sapagkat sa kanila ko po nakita yung pagiging independent. Alam nyo, napakahalaga po sa konstitusyon natin yan, Article 9 yan, yung pagiging independent ng OWA. Naranasan ko to, Pangulo, kasi pinag-aralan kong mabuti yung bill. Talagang pinagmuni-munihan namin, nagkaroon pa kami ng ilang beses na salo-salo. Minsan, sorry po, salo-salo kung hinanda, hindi masyadong espesyal. Pero ang mahalaga po doon ay yung ako po ay kanilang in-educate. At alam niyo po, Ginoong Pangulo, doon ko po nakita yung pagmamahal ng COA sa ating bayan. Sapagkat nung amin pong pinagnilay-nilayan, yung amin pong matatawag namin, inisa-isa po namin yung bill, nakita namin na parang mababawasan pa yata sila ng kapangyarihan dun sa bill. Kaya, alam nyo, sa tutuusin, lidak pa yun, lidak pa yung bill na yun. Hindi sila, masasabi ko, hindi sila natinag, hindi sila nagpa-pressure sa Kamara, sa atin. Talagang pinaliwanag po nila sa akin na hindi ito makakatulong sa bayan. Kaya ako po ay saludo po sa inyo. Ako po ay tatambling para sa inyo dahil nakita ko po talaga na protektado po ang bayan sa inyo. Kaya, boss, pagkatapos mo magtanong, magmumove ako uli. Okay. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat, Senator Robin. Katulad ng nasabi ko kanina dito sa Senado, at least dito sa Senate Committee on Finance, binabasa talaga namin yung committee report, COA report na pinapublish nyo sa internet, pinapadala nyo sa amin, and we take that very seriously. If you notice, kung hindi babasahin tong COA report during the budget season, walang magbabasa nito no? So it's really designed to help us in the Committee on Finance, Committee on Appropriations sa lower house to scrutinize the budget very carefully of each agencies. Kasi ito ang time na talagang maging accountable yung mga agencies pagdating sa kanilang budget request. No? So we rely on the information and the the reports that you give us, and we rely on the scrutiny that you make, the scrutiny that you make in order to make sure that the agencies are performing performing well in line with their mandate. No? So siniseryoso talaga namin yung mga COA reports. So yes, go ahead, Chairperson.
Sir, Mr. Chair, bago po nyo ipagpatuloy, ay nais ko po sana mag-respond lang kay Senator Padilla. Senator Padilla, galing po sa puso ng lahat ng tiga-COA, naramdaman po namin ang pagtatanggol ninyo sa pagpapa-improve at pagpapa-amend po ng aming charter. Naramdaman po talaga namin ang concern at ang talino at galing ni Senator Padilla. So, gusto lang po sana namin magpasalamat on behalf of everyone po dito, pati po yung mga nag-retire na, ay maraming salamat po. Thank you.
Actually, sa totoo lang, kinausap ako ni Senator Robin noon. Remember, sabi niya, pare, ikaw na lang mag-hear nito. Nung nakita ko, sabi ko, pare, ang hirap nito, bahala ka na dyan. Mahirap talaga yung bill na yan. It's not a simple bill. But si Senator Robin really took a lot of time and effort to study. No? Kaya nakita ko yan with my own eyes. So, now to go into your budget, ang unang tanong ko, Chairman Cordoba, nakita nyo kanina yung CSC kompleto yung kanilang commissioners, and it's been a tradition during budget season, yung mga commissioners in full force, no, pumupunta talaga dito. So may I ask, where is Commissioner Lipana?
Thank you for the question, Mr. Chairman. Si Commissioner Lipana po has been on leave since August 1 po. Ang kanya pong leave ay na-extend po niya hanggang October 30 dahil he has been undergoing treatment po sa abroad for his sickness. Actually, medyo may oras na nga po na matagal na po siya nagpapagamot, and sometimes po hindi po siya nakakapasok. Ito po medyo extended. And if mamarapatin po ng Honorable Chair po natin, we can submit po his medical certificate, but ano lang po siguro, ang treatment po siguro ito would be para sa inyo na lang po muna siguro. Do I submit it po now?
I'll kunin ko na lang later on,
Apo,
Chairman.
sige po. Ayun lang
So,
naman
but
po.
we'll rest assured that we will treat it with utmost confidentiality. No?
Maraming
We
salamat
respect
po.
naman yung mga legitimate reasons ng mga resource persons natin, mga agencies, lalo na concerning their health. No? So rest assured na hindi lalabas yan sa committee. Another question that I will ask, and this is the biggest elephant in the room. Alam nyo naman to. No? Ito yung tungkol sa nangyayari ngayon sa flood control and other infrastructure projects. Nasabi ko to during the Blue Ribbon hearing, Senator Robin, na ang last bastion of safeguards, no, in the local, whether LGU, the engineering office, or other offices, is COA. No? Kasi alam natin na walang mga anomalies o walang anomalya na mababayaran nang hindi nare-review ng COA, at wala ring mga bagay na makakalampas ng matagal kung hindi rin nare-review ng COA. Dahil ang COA nakadesenyo, protektahan ang publiko. No? At umaasa kami doon, umaasa ako doon. Ang COA, talagang mandato niya, protektahan tayo lahat. No? Sa mga anomalya, sa mga corrupt practices, sa mga corrupt individuals, at talagang yan ang kumbaga huling safeguard natin pagdating sa pag-iimplementa ng project. So since nangyari na ito, no, at gusto kong masigurado na in 2026 ang COA ay mabibigyan ng pondo at tools para hindi maulit to, dahil ayaw natin maulit to in 2026, Chairman. So gusto namin masigurado dito sa Senado na sapat yung inyong pondo, sapat yung inyong kagamitan, sapat yung inyong capabilities pagdating sa paglalaban ng corruption, para hindi na maulit to. So may I know kung ano yung mga reformang ginagawa ninyo since nangyari na ito at may investigation, and maybe you can also give us some updates kung ano ba yung latest dito sa mga nangyaring flood control issues.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Chairman. First of all po, ang aming pong napansin on our side would be, kailangan po siguro namin ng tulong nyo, would be lack of manpower. Like for example, ang pinag-usapan po dito is ang pinaka epicenter po nitong nangyari nito is the first District Engineering Office of Bulacan. Ito pong mga nangyari na to, ito pong flood control, when we analyzed it, ay 20% of the full amount ay nasa Region 3. And almost 50% of that amount is in Bulacan. So when we check dun po sa ground, napansin po namin we only have 2 auditors in the first District Engineering Office of Bulacan. Yung pong team leader at saka kanyang assistant team leader. Bumaba po kasi ang aming number of positions dahil po nabawasan po kami ng DBM. 963 positions pong naalis, sa Bulacan po ay sa Region 3 is 136 positions po yan. So yun pong aming dalawang auditors doon ay handles 11 municipalities, 3 cities, and 8 LTO offices. But nakapag-issue naman po sila ng NDs. But ako po, Your Honors, ang tingin ko po, I would say na medyo nagkaroon po ng konting kakulangan, and the part of that ay we cured it through a fraud audit, diretso po, galing sa taas. So, nagpa-fraud audit po kami sa First Engineering District of Bulacan, and so far, Your Honors, we have already issued 21 fraud audit reports. 8 po dito ay nasubmit na po namin sa Ombudsman, at yung pong natitirang 12 ay simula po nang lumabas ang executive order creating the ICI, ay doon na po kami nag-submit. Yung pong una namin sinubmit na 8 ay naging basis po ng administrative suspension nun pong mga employees, personnel of the DPW district sa first district po ng Bulacan. Gusto ko rin pong sabihin na one of the items po na lumalabas sa amin ay yun pong one of our commissioners po ay nagkaroon po ng parang conflict of interest. Ang isa pong aming reform na gagawin is all our employees will be asked to issue a declaration of conflict of interest, kung ano pong kanilang economic interest at kung ito po ay may conflict sa kanilang trabaho bilang auditor. Ito po ay naging suggestion po sa amin ng House of Representatives through Congressman Chel Jokno, and ito po ay magiging aside po from the SALN. Doon po kasi sa SALN ay nakalagay lang yung corporation, but you don't say naman kung anong ginagawa ng corporation at saka kung anong business, just the name of the corporation. Dito po sa amin, mas detalyado po ang aming hihingin na mga information po para makita po namin kung talaga may conflict of interest or hindi, or wala. Another thing is magkakaroon po kami ng issuance of memorandum circulars, and si Commissioner Douglas Malilin po ang mag-discuss ng memo circulars on geotagging of projects po.
Go ahead, Commissioner Douglas.
Magandang umaga po, Mr. Chair. The statement regarding the geotagging po. The geotagging is a requirement po for all infrastructure projects. Hindi lang po ito para sa DPWH. Alam ho natin na ang DPWH, NIA, the Department of Health, and not only the national agencies po, pati mga GOCC, pati mga LGU po, ay may infrastructure projects. As early as 2017 ho, si DPWH issued a department order requiring all projects ho to be geotagged. Ang ibig ho sabihin natin sa geotagging, nandito ho ang lokasyon, eksaktong lokasyon ho ng mga proyekto. Ang kakaibahan lang ho nito ay nakafocus lang po siya sa DPWH. So ang gagawin po ng COA is to issue a circular requiring all infrastructure projects ho to be geotagged. Sa kasalukuyan ho, nag-uusap po kami with DPWH dahil ho, ang geotagging is a continuous activity. Pati ho, maski natapos na ho rin yung proyekto, even during the warranty period ho, kailangan ho nababantayan. para makita ho natin yung wear and tear at kung ito po ay sumusunod dun sa mga guarantee at sa mga warranties. The geotagging circular po is now ongoing, the draft. We have completed ho at the stage po ng COA. And since this is a circular, may konting koordinasyon lang po ito sa mga ahensyang tatamaan bago ho ito maging final circular po. Kausap din po namin ang DPWH. Binabalanse ho namin ang requirement ho at yung bagong teknolohiya ho ng satellite geotagging. Maaari ho with the satellite geotagging, it might be in coordination po with DICT as well and NTC. Dahil ho, makakatipid din po tayo, maski na may kamahalan ho ang satellite services. But if a satellite geotagging can be done for 10 projects in a given day, at ito po ay magiging mas transparent, may iwasan ho natin yung pagpepeke ho ng geotag, yung tipong litrato po, sinusuperimpose lang po yung GPS coordinates. With a satellite-driven geotagging, we can cover a bigger area. Then we have a third party doing the geographical information system requirements po. We are coordinating on that po with the DPWH at the moment. So, ito pong circular na to, pag lumabas po, we're not only looking at DPWH, all infrastructure projects, lalo-lalo na kung napakalaki ho or these are called big ticket items, ay mako-cover ho nito. Mr. Chair, this is just one of the initiatives of COA at the moment. Nag-uusap na rin po kami ng system integration with the departments on infra. Ito po ay ang kahulugan ho nito yung mga sistema ho ng DPWH, PICAB, PhilJeps at SEC at BIR ho, ipag-iisa ho natin para magmukhang isang portal. Karamihan ho nangyayari ngayon katulad ho sa bidding, the bidders are required to submit their bidding documents and ang pagsisiyasa to o pagche-check ho ng mga dokumento na to ay lahat ho manual. Kung magkakaroon ho ng portal lahat ho ng ahensya, mache-check ho sa SEC, sa BIR, yung kanilang mga kontrata, tulad ho ng mga NFCC at LCC ho nila. So magtutugma-tugma. Napapansin ho ng BIR ngayon and it is being reported na maski na ganito kalalaki ho ang project nila sa DPWH, pag tiningnan ho yung kanilang mga ITR, napakaliit ho yung mga deklarasyon. So tinitingnan ho namin na pag nagtugma-tugma ho ang mga impormasyon na to, we're looking at engaging all the agencies po para magiging isa lang po. And the third po na tinitingnan, it has been a constant suggestion, a pre-audit. Under the Constitution po natin, sa saligang batas, sinasabi po natin na post-audit po ang COA. Pero meron pong exception under the Constitution and under PD 1445 ho na dinadasal ho namin magbago na rin po at maayos ng magawang mas moderno po. We can do pre-audit under certain circumstances po kung mababa ang internal control po ng isang ahensya. Pinag-aaralan nga lang ho namin the resources required to do a pre-audit. Especially ho manpower, facilities, and babalansin ho namin ito sa operational speed ng isang ahensya. This was lifted, the pre-audit was there with COA po until 2011, but this was lifted considering the clamor of the agencies that a lot of their operations po were being hampered or we are being slowed down by the pre-audit. So this was lifted, but there will come a time po we may need to balance the requirement po of a pre-audit as against going full post-audit po. So we're looking into the resources. Right now po, our initial estimate just for the DPWH alone and their district engineering office, we're looking at a PS or cost lang po ng tao, roughly about 1.7 B a year. Ang nakikita ho namin sa MOE ho nila would roughly be 300 million a year. And yung initial year capital outlay requirements ho is running at 400 million for the first year. So in terms of costing po and in terms of procedure, we're going to balance po a possible pre-audit or a selective pre-audit. but we are also banking on a full digitalization so that we could run better data analytics po as against a purely manual pre-audit po. So initially po, Mr. Chair, ito po yung mga courses of action that COA is taking a look at moving forward po. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for addressing this. No? Talagang hindi natin palagpasin dito because, Mr. Chair, I think this scandal probably the biggest already in our history that rocked the government na kinagali talaga ng taong bayan na hindi, this is not only DPWH, but of course, sila po talaga yung primary agency that really undertook or implemented this substandard or ghost projects kasama yung proponents. But yung DBM was also mentioned, may kasama sa DBM, meron din sa COA, no? Ang while it has not been proven yet, siguro Chairman Cordoba, that resident auditors knowingly participated in the fraud, falsification, bribery, or was formally charged. Allegation is either through negligence or complicity, but they did not act through the red flags dito sa flood control project. So ang tanong ko lang, may sarili ba tayong investigation na sinagawa ang COA dito sa resident auditors that were assigned in itong notorious na Bulacan District Engineering Office. Siguro, Mr. Chair, isama na natin yung sa Mindoro, no? Because I think ito yung top 2 most notorious district engineering office na talagang lumobo doon pa lang sa paglagay ng budget, kitang-kita from 1 billion, 1.5 billion sa National Expenditure Program, naging 20 billion. Doon sa dalawang district sa Mindoro, sa Bulacan, meron naging 16 billion, ganun din. So ilang, Chairman, what action has COA undertaken to investigate itong assigned auditors?
Thank you po, Mr. Chair. Doon po sa ating fraud audit na ginawa, na isinasagawa po, part of it po is yun pong fraud auditors would also look at the negligence or complicity ng ating pong mga resident auditors po dun sa baba. And part of that po ay submit po sa amin, and we will go through it po dun sa ating Internal Affairs Office para po mapatawan po natin ng tama na penalty. Actually, if mamarapatin po nyo, we can submit it to you, but ang pakiusap lang po namin, confidential lang po muna because po we are still going through the process of issuing the decision, dahil pagkatapos po ng pag-file dun sa Internal Affairs Office, dadaan po to sa legal and then iti-take up po sa in-bank. But meron na po mga initial findings which we submit to the Honorable Committee. Salamat po.
Thank you for that. Siguro with your indulgence, Mr. Chair. Kasi this has started 2022, no, yung talagang malaki yan. So, siguro kung lumusot nung hindi pa gaano kalaki, palaki ng palaki. So, I think, I hope that you would investigate. At nanggaling na rin mismo sa DPWH officials in this first District Engineering Office, nakasama po ang DBM and COA, no, doon po sa kanilang collusion, no, o yung sabwatan dito. And I hope that to restore faith in government, kailangan ho talagang magkaroon ng action dito. And I have confidence in you, Chairperson Cordoba. You have been in government for so long, nag-NTC pa lahat, no? And I am hoping that you would help in restoring faith. Kasi ang COA talagang natin, Mr. Chair, no? Talagang inaasahan natin na talagang siguraduhin yung mga proyekto na gawa ng tama at maayos. Kaya lang kung kasama yung ahensya na dapat nagche-check o nagpapatunay na maayos na ginawa ang proyekto, mawawala talaga ang tiwala ng taong bayan. No, ang nakakalungkot dito, Mr. Chair, I know that you were looking for Commissioner Lipana, who I believe is sick, na alam ko he's undergoing treatment, pero medyo nakakagulat din yung mga revelations that he received a huge amount na medyo rin. So, ang COA ba, although he is an impeachable official, pero kaya meron din ba kayong ginawang aksyon tungkol dito? Or, sige pa.
Maraming salamat po, Honorable Chair, Senator JV Ejercito. Tungkol po doon po sa ating mga resident auditors, rest assured po makakaasa kayo na tuloy-tuloy po ang aming aksyon doon sa kanila. Secondly po, yun pong fraud audit po namin ay tuloy-tuloy din po. Hindi po kami titigil hanggat hindi po namin naubos po yan. So far po, malaki na po ang natapos namin sa Bulacan but hindi po kami titigil, and then we go to other parts of the country. Tungkol naman po kay Commissioner Lipana, well, nabanggit po ninyo that as an impeachable officer, ay wala po kaming discipline authority over a commissioner. But ang nangyari po ngayon is the Office of the Ombudsman has already started investigation. So we are cooperating with the Office of the Ombudsman po. Humingi na po sila mga dokumento sa amin, and anything that they would ask for, we will cooperate po. Yun naman po ang aming commitment. Salamat po.
Thank you. Pero I'm glad that you are already improving yung inyo pong mga especially sistema, lalo na sa geotagging. That will help a lot, Mr. Chair. Kasi po para maiwasan na po yung yung pagpapatong-patong ng dinoktor na mga dokumento, yung ba maiwasan, as according to Commissioner Malilin. Kasi doon sa presentation ni Senator Lacson, I remember pati yung pictures hindi man lang pinalitan. Ilang taon na, parehong-pareho, pati yung tao hindi gumalaw. Tapos yung mga coordinates, itong very crucial kasi yung coordinates, minsan turo-turo na lang daw minsan that's how powerful the District Engineering Office of DPWH has become. Kasi Mr. Chair, sila na lang magtuturo kung sino gagawa ng kontraktor, at minsan kung hindi minsan ginawa o hindi, dahil dito hindi natin na-check kasi tubig ang hirap, walang address. Di ba? Pero Commissioner Malilin, yung ganitong halimbawa, nasa ilog, walang address yan, walang corner, walang yung pa with geotagging, ito pa masosolve na natin to because na to di ba? At least via satellite, makikita na ito, hindi na mauulit yun.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Senator JV. Ganito po ang geotagging na para makita ho ng mga taong bayan naging history. In 2017, DPWH imposed the geotagging. Ang nangyari po at nakikita ho namin, may mga litrato ho na ginagawa kaysa ho yung metadata, yung sinasabi ho natin na dumidikit ho sa file, ay yung tamang metadata, ginagawa ho, sinusuperimpose po yung GPS coordination, yung description ho doon sa litrato. Nung nakita ho yan, nung nag-uusap na po kami ng DPWH, the best party po to do a geotag is a third party, not the contractor, not DPWH. And lumalabas po, it's a satellite read. Ang satellite reading po, medyo mahirap ng dayain po yan. And yung geotagging ho should really be faithfully done. Ito po, para lang may idea po ang mga kaukulan. Kung tama po ang lokasyon at coordinates po ng isang proyekto at the start, ibig sabihin po na pag-aralan mabuti kung saan ho yung proyekto, na pag-aralan ho na ito talaga ho yung lugar. So simula pa lang ho ng proyekto, alam na ho natin dapat ang lokasyon. Kung maiiba ho ang lokasyon, magdududa na rin po tayo bakit na iba po. Dahil kung tama ho yung pagpaplano, simulat sa pool pa lang ho, alam na dapat yung lugar. Kaya nagkakaroon ho din ng rason ng marami na ito po yung lugar na nasabi sa proyekto, sa terms of reference. Ang sinasabi ho ng contractor, tinuro po ng DPWH, iba ho yung pwesto.
Yan na nga po. Kaya nga, that's why I asked Mr. Chair, talagang ganun na nangyari. Sila na nagtuturo kung saan lang. Kahit na pag nag-audit daw, ito yun. Kahit na hindi pala. So with the use, aside from the physical verification, now with geotagging, talagang at least ngayon, mas malaking bagay ito. Kasi hindi nyo na madodoktor to dahil na to satellite di ba?
Tama
feed, no?
Yes po.
Sige po.
And Senator JV, sa ngayon po yung geotagging na kay DPWH po, it only points to one coordinate. It does not show po, hindi po pinapakita kung gaano kalaki po yung project o gaano kahaba. So, may improvement po na pinag-uusapan ho namin ng DPWH to actually plot out, makikita ho kung ano ho yung area, kung gaano kahaba, gaano kalapad, o kung may sinusundang ilog po to, kung ano po yung kurba. Sa ngayon po yung data ho ng DPWH is just 1 point. Ito po, makikita ho yung kahabaan at yung buong area po ng proyekto. Salamat po.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, we will, again, we have confidence in Chairperson Cordoba and the rest of COA family that I hope that you can really help us, no, in this scandal and scam that has really rocked the nation, no? Talagang galit ang taong bayan dito. Kailangan natin maibalik ang tiwala. But again, all the agencies concerned have to show that yung reforms that they are instituting para hindi na maulit itong corruption scandal na ito. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator JV, I'll just follow up on some of the items, Chairman Cordova. So there are 3 reforms na gagawin. Number 1 is yung declaration of conflict of interest. Kasama dito ang mga commissioners.
Lahat po ng empleyado po ng Commission on
So
Audit.
top to bottom,
Yes po, lahat.
kasama dito sa declaration of conflict of interest. And then itong geotagging, alam ko ginagawa to ng DPWH. So ano ang bago ngayon dito sa geotagging na ito? Kasi alam ko in the past admin meron na silang geotagging na ginagawa pero nakalusot pa rin. So what's new with this geotagging na gagawin ninyo?
Tama po yun, Mr. Chair. The geotagging in DPWH was started in 2017 through a department order. Pagdating naman po nga sa GAA, sa General Appropriations Act, this was mandated po in the general provisions in GAA 2022 and 2023. And pagdating ho ng GAA ng 2024 and 2025, it became a special provision po sa DPWH alone. It was not a general provision po. Ang lumalabas po sa geotagging, ang napapansin ho namin, hindi ho nasusundan. Kung sinusundan ho, ang nangyayari, yung mga contractors ho, or whoever is required to geotag, takes a picture of the project, pero ho yung geotagging na nilalagay po niya ay hindi tugma kung saan ho talaga yung proyekto. We'll give you one example po. Merong isang proyekto ho na nasa ibang lugar, kukunan po ng litrato, pero yung geotag ho, na normal na pag-visual ho natin titingnan, iniimprenta o copy-paste na lang po, idinidikit ho sa litrato. So for a normal person ho, sabihin ho natin auditor who are not trained to take a look at the geotag, pagkita ho ng litrato, we assume it to be regular. But if these coordinates are really true at pinuntahan ho yung lugar, dito ho, ang main purpose ho ng geotag when it was done in 2017 was to avoid the ghost projects. Yun ho yung main purpose. Or at the same time, makita ho yung progression of the project, yung masasabi ho natin percentage of completion. Ang nangyari ho dun sa geotagging requirement, it was actually altered and manipulated. So ang mangyayari ho dito, once COA issues the circular, it becomes a mandatory item. Kung wala ho ito at hindi na verify, it becomes a cause for an immediate suspension or disallowance. So pahihigpitan ho namin yung rules that if the geotagging is not there and found out ho na mali yung geotag at sabihin ho natin sinadya na mali, criminal prosecution can be had dahil ho submissions ito prior to any payment. Kung meron hong 10 kabayaran during the progress payment, a geotag picture is actually po required. So, ibig sabihin no, if a false geotagging picture is submitted, falsification po kaagad ito. Pero Mr. Chair, ito po, the geotag in the DPWH orders is only until the time of completion and until the time of the last payment. Yung geotag proposal po ng COA in the circular is to go beyond that. That is to cover the warranty period. Dahil po, katulad ng flood control projects, if they are semi-permanent and they are considered to be at least usable for the next 5 years, sabihin ho natin na kompleto in year 0. So we expect it to be there in the next 5 years. Kung wala na hong dadalaw doon dahil sabi na nila completed, yung warranty period ho, the bonds and performance securities required should still be effective ho to cover the warranty. One of the geotag advantages din po is maiwasan ho yung doubling of the project. Sabihin ho natin nagawa ho yung proyekto, susunod na taon kung mababudgetan ho na naman the same location, pag may dumalaw ho, mukhang buo. Pero karamihan ho, pag nakita, sabi nila, meron. Yung pala ho, dinoble ho yung proyekto. Kaya ito ho yung angal ng iba na sumunod na taon, dinalaw nila na pinturahan lang po. Pero lumalabas ho, 2 proyekto in one.
So, Chair, with your
this will
indulgence,
help po.
kasi nangyari po yan no, during the Blue Ribbon Committee hearings, na yun po, taon-taon, binabudgetan pero same project yung parang pareho-parehong proyekto yung pong na-identify pero ilang taon na pinopondohan. So paano natin with this sa geotagging maano rin ba natin to maiwasan na ulit?
Salamat.
Maiwasan yung na mangyari.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. By the way po, just to reiterate, the geotagging circular po ng COA is not only for DPWH. This will all involve LGUs, GOCCs, and everyone that does infrastructure ho on the government side. Kasi ang gusto rin ho nating maiwasan is a national government project na sinasabayan din po ng local government project. And it will help both our auditors po kasi magkaiba po yung auditor namin sa lokal, magkaiba ho yung auditors ho namin sa national government agency. So if we have an auditor po sa DPWH, meron po tayong auditor sa local government, makikita rin ho nila dahil sabay ho sa kanila yung datos, makikita ho nila kung nagkakapatong din ho yung project nila. Kasi maaaring hong pondohan ng national government, pwede rin naman hong sinasabi ho nating sakyan ng local government. So we have one project, 2 sources of funds, 2 types of disbursements, but we're only talking of one po. So it should address the entire bureaucracy, including the local governments po. So if the geotag, especially ho with the satellite geotagging, if that comes to fruition po, sa pag-uusap namin with DPWH, we could have solved one cause of the problem na rin po. Salamat po.
Siya, tama ba naintindihan ko? Sa work program pa lang, may geotag na. Umpisa pa lang, step 1 pa lang mayroon ng geotag.
Dapat po, Mr. Chair. Dahil kung napag-aralan po talaga yung proyekto bago po masimulan, kompleto na ho yung datos simula sa geotag at laki po ng proyekto. Kung ang proyekto po ay naging katang-isip lang at ipinasok lang po, mahihirapan ho ilagay yung geotag dahil dapat nanggagaling ho to sa pagpaplano at pag-aaral bago po masimulan.
So, ibig sabihin, bago isubmit for budgeting, meron ng geotag. Meron ng geotagging.
Kung nagmamadali po, sabihin ho natin talagang nangangailangan, pero it will take time for the technical study. So, masusundan na ho natin. Sabihin ho natin sa proyekto, sinabi lang nila kailangan ito. Pero pagdating ho, bago simulan man lang ho yung project, assuming po, hindi na hagip for budgeting purposes, yung technical. Pero matatapos ho yung pag-aaral nila, sabihin ho natin during the calendar year or the fiscal year of implementation. Before any project ho is awarded, dapat ho, hagip na po yung technical description, including the geotagging po.
Okay. Kasi naintindihan ko sa DBM, the only appropriate funds kung tawag nila shovel ready na, no? Ibig sabihin ready for implementation na, no? So in fact pwede nga sila magpa-bid short of award, di ba? Pwede nilang gawin 'yun eh, no? So para hindi rin naiipit yung pondo. So if that is the case, dapat kung shovel ready na, meron ng geotag, no? Kasi shovel ready ka na, alam mo na kung saan mag-uumpisa, saan matatapos, at saan eksakto yung project. Pero sa mga submission sa amin, nakikita namin, walang mga technical description eh. No? That's why malabo ngayon sagot sa amin ng DBM na sila, basta kung anong sinamit, pinapasok nila sa NEP. No? So kami naman, because nasa NEP, at ang guidelines shovel ready, ang aming conclusion is meron na itong mga technical description, most especially geotagging. Kasi alam ko nga 2017 requirement na ito eh. No? So in your opinion, bakit nawala itong requirement since 2017? Sana in a perfect world, pagpasok pa lang dito, ano ba, may line item, meron ng geotagging doon, 'di ba? In geotagging naman parang coordinates 'yun, 'di ba?
Yes po.
If I'm not mistaken, no? Parang coordinates na para talagang alam na natin even in the GAA na itong mga projects na ito ay meron ng location, may haba at kung saan.
Mr. Chair, kung maaari nga lang ho, for budgeting purposes, ideally ho, nandyan na ho yung geotag. At hindi lang ho yung geotag, yung breadth and width, yung laki at haba po lapad at haba po nung proyekto, kailangan. But understanding engineering po, if there are any adjustments midstream, tulad po nung may dumating na consultant at sinabi sa kanilang hindi dyan dapat, dito dapat, pero may budget na po. As long as all the documentation po on why there is a change in location or any changes to the project, tulad na ho ng variance order, kailangan ho naka-geotag na rin po. So, as long as we can follow the trail po, from the time the project is conceptualized until the time the project is in its warranty period po.
Pero Commissioner, yung ilalabas yung memo ngayon is no geotag, no payment. Ganun ba yun?
Mr. Chair, yun po ang magiging isa sa mga kondisyones. Actually po,
to put it
Mis-
simply, to put it simply.
Yes. Actually, Mr. Chair, as early as 2020, DPWH actually has a requirement that no geotag pictures, no payment. Kasama ho yun sa mga kondisyonis ho nila. Ang nangyari ho, may geotag pictures. Hindi nga lang ho yung tamang litrato. So nabayaran pa rin ho. One of the items that we're finding right now po sa fraud audit.
Pero yung ganun is ano na yan, human intervention na yan or 'di ba? Or lack of it, in other words.
Yes po.
Oo, kasi kung lolokohin mo talaga yung dokumento, maloloko mo talaga yung dokumento, 'di ba? Kung hindi mo rin pag-aaralin yung dokumento mabuti, makakalusot talaga ito.
That's why, Mr. Chair, they were supposed to do two things. A picture that is printed out with the geotag info, and the picture is also uploaded to the system of DPWH. Yung metadata o yung properties po ng picture, hindi ho rin tumutugma sa litrato. So namamanipula din. That's the reason why DPWH and COA are in present discussions po to avoid a possible biased party, either the contractor, DPWH, or any of the engineers, to manipulate the geotag data. We're now looking into the satellite geotagging po. Mas mahirap kausap po at mas mahirap magloko po si satellite provider po.
Kaya ba yan this coming 2026?
Nag-uusap po kami ng DPWH. Actually ho, the technology is there. Ang kailangan na lang ho pag-usapan would possibly be the rates, the frequency of use, at ano ho yung kinakailangang makuha ho namin in the geotagging requirements po. Yung frequency and resolution din ho ng litrato, critical din po. So yun ho yung pinag-uusapan ho ngayon with DPWH po.
And
with
then
the
your
secretaries.
last reform is pre-audit.
Pinag-aaralan po yung pre-audit. Pinag-aaral ho namin, we will need practically 2.7 billion pesos annually just to do pre-audit of DPWH alone. Wala ho tayong pinag-uusapang iba pang ahensya. But if we could do the integration of systems po, more of, ang magiging focus ho natin is data analytics. Then we can really impose the geotagging. We could trim down the requirements for the pre-audit po. In the meantime po, it may be a requirement that if we do pre-audit, yung budget na ipresenta ho kanina, na 15 billion ho, medyo kukulangin po kami ngayon ng konti. So kung kaya ho nating tiisin na mapagbigyan ho ang COA ng karagdagang budget for a pre-audit, we will try to fill in everybody and that needs to be there. Dahil ayaw din ho naming mapilay ang operasyon, babagal ho ito pag iilan pa rin ho ang auditors doing the pre-audit, especially just for DPWH po.
Pros and cons ang pre-audit, di ba? Ang pre-audit, una is sigurado tayo, at least may makikita nila yung project at mababayaran lang kung nandiyan yung project. Ang downside niyan, mabagal. Di ba? May delays, so baka madelay naman yung payment at wala na makikipagnegosyo sa gobyerno. So may pros and cons yan na kailangan pag-aralan eh, no. But ako I agree with Senator JV, ang COA kasi is the last line of defense eh. Pag lumampas to sa COA, wala na, talagang hindi na natin makokontrol yung ginagawa nitong mga tiwaling mga kawani ng gobyerno. So importante lang na ma-empower yung COA para masigurado na lahat ng binabayaran tama, no? Itong pre-audit, you will require 2.7 billion in addition.
Yes po. That is only for DPWH po.
Okay. And you can assure government that it will not delay, kasi we have to balance the delay rin dahil infrastructure is important to nation building, literally, no? So, kaya ba yon na hindi madidelay?
Kaya po ang proposal po ng COA po as a more holistic approach. Kung manual po rin ang audit ho namin, that's a purely pre-audit. But if we combine this po with the geotagging and we also have the system integration where the data is accessible to COA for the agencies involved po, there we can balance po yung the pre-audit, which is really manual, and a more digitalization approach, which is data analytics approach, para mas madali ho naming ma-flag yung mga projects po. So, yung 2.7 po, if the system integration and geotagging can immediately be done, that can even lessen the extent of work we need to do ho sa pre-audit. So, may balancing lang po.
Okay. Well, kami naman, ang goal namin is to assure the public this flood control mess will not happen again, no, in 2026. We can only do so much in the budgeting eh. Now, once na-approve namin yung budget, executive na yan, we will leave it to the executive to execute. Pero kung pareho pa rin yung gagawin ng executive at hindi natin mahuhuli, magiging problema tayo. How about yung human intervention? Kasi nga, 'di ba, ngayon we're talking about, lumalabas doon sa press release ni Secretary Dizon, there are about 421 na ghost projects nationwide, no? So, in other words, may mga areas na nalalampasan ang COA in terms of documentation. So, and this is contingent to the manpower. So, how do we, itong mga issues of manpower, the lack of manpower, the integrity of the manpower, the tools that the manpower use, how do we address this? No? Kasi nung narinig ko yung 421, nagulat talaga ako dahil that's nationwide. No? So how do we, hindi lang to Bulacan, ha? No? Nationwide to. So how do we address the concerning the manpower issues, Chairperson?
Thank you for that, Mr. Chairman. First of all, before po answering your question, we would like to submit din po the draft memo circular on geotagging para kung meron po kayong suggestions or meron po kayong mga gustong i-improve doon ay magpapatulong po kami sa inyo. And now, tungkol po dun sa tanong ninyo, Mr. Chair, ang una po namin gawin is yun pong we have to pag magrego doon po kami ng tao sa baba. Kasi sometimes yun pong our regular stay po ng isang auditor is around 3 years. So baka po it breeds familiarity po with the auditee. So kasi in ang auditor po stays in the same building And of course, interacts also with the auditee. So, important po doon, especially now dito sa 2026, ay magkakaroon po ng changes po doon sa baba. And then, ang gagawin po namin is, baka po mahirapan tayo doon sa increase ng manpower. So, ang gagawin po namin would be surprise visits from the central office doon po sa bawat area para po bang para po tayong may konduktor na titsekin yung trabaho ng bawat auditor sa baba periodically. Tuloy-tuloy na po yun, Mr. Chair.
I'll leave it to the Blue Ribbon and the ICI to investigate kung ano nangyari ngayon. Ang concern lang naman namin is paano hindi maulit to. And isa sa mga nakikita namin, aside from the budgeting process, is really to empower COA, to make sure that COA is empowered. Na meron kayong tools, may tao kayo, meron kayong yung mga pangangailangan nyo nabibigay para hindi na maulit to. Kasi nga, sabi ko nga, kahit nahigpitan namin yung budget, tanggalin yung flood control, andyan pa rin yung kalsada, andyan pa rin farm to market road, andyan pa rin irrigation. Once na-approve na yung budget, well, hands off na ang Senado dyan eh. No? It's really the executive na, and COA, no? Kasi kayo on the ground, you have presence on the ground. No? Kaya we have to, I just want to make sure na well-equipped ang COA and supported when it comes to performing its duties. No? Para hindi na maulit to. And then, in terms of disciplinary mechanisms among your employees, kasi nabanggit narinig nyo naman siguro sa privilege speeches, sa mga testimonies ng mga resource persons or mga witnesses, nababanggit ang COA, no? At meron ba kayong disciplinary reforms, no? Dahil nababanggit yung COA in many of the testimonies dito. So, ano mga disciplinary reforms are you undertaking in order to make sure that integrity is maintained among the ranks?
Thank you for that, Mr. Chair. First of all, Mr. Chair, meron kaming existing and we will implement it. And sabi ko nga po kanina, we will submit to you yun po mga initial findings na basis po ng mga actions na gagawin po namin. And I think maybe we can increase the penalties dahil matagal na po itong hindi napapalitan, matagal na po itong hindi na-amend. And because of the increase of transactions, because of the increase of number of transactions and the amount of transactions, I think it's about time po na yung penalties po natin ay taasan din po. In the same breath, Mr. Chair, kasama din po naman doon sa amin pong amendment ng law, na kung saan po ay tinutulungan kami ni Senator Padilla, ay nagpapatulong sana po kami to exempt our employees from the salary standardization. Dahil po isa po sa challenges po namin is how to keep the people. Pagka pumasok po sa amin ang auditor, technical people, after being trained for 2-3 years, ay pinapahirit na po kasi yan ng ibang offices. There are offices that are exempted from SSL. So lilipat na po sila doon kasi mas mataas po ang sweldo, mas mataas po ang natatanggap po nila ng sahod. Kaya po one of the reasons po na kung mapapansin nyo po yung number of personnel po namin na hindi namin napupuno is because po of the churn. Marami po nagre-retire, marami nagre-resign, pero mas konti po ang pumapasok. Actually, nag-positive lang po kami sa hiring ay 2024. Dahil po nung 2020, 21, 22, 23, marami po nag-opt for early retirement because of the pandemic. Dahil ang trabaho po ng auditors is physical. You have to be present. You have to be there to do the cash count. You have to be there to do a ocular inspection. So marami po sa kanila nag-opt na po for early retirement. And then yun nga pong pumapasok ay hindi po ganun karami because of the limitations po dun sa level of salary that we can offer. Ayun lang naman po. Salamat.
I think that's also part of yung batas na pinupush ni Senator Padilla. We can study that because nakita ko nga dito sa inyong report or dito sa briefer namin, there are about 4,000 unfilled positions, no? I think because nga maraming nagre-resign, pumupunta sa ibang agency, I guess yung iba nagpa-private sector pa, no?
Meron pong nagpupunta sa private sector, meron din po nagpupunta sa ibang offices, meron din naman po nag-abroad. Yun po ang reason kung bakit po ganun.
Oo. So kulang na yung tao ninyo, marami pang umaalis. No, yun ang problema. I'll go to so Chairman, just to complete this, itong issue na ito, yun na nga, ang COA is the last line of defense, and umaasa kami sa inyo, sa lahat sa inyo, na itong 2026 and beyond, hindi na mauulit itong nakita natin. At nakita ko na meron kayong mga reforma, including yung increasing the penalties as part of your disciplinary mechanisms. Kami rin dito sa Senado, actually nagre-reform rin kami on how we conduct our budgeting. Lahat ng mga dokumento ina-upload na namin sa website, including the annexes. At lahat po ng aming discussion ngayon naka-live stream na. So, in other words, itong nangyayari ngayon is a learning process to all of us, COA, to the Senate, to everyone. And let's use this opportunity to reform our systems and even ourselves, no? Kasi talagang ang taong bayan, nakita niyo naman, nawalan ng kumpiyansa sa gobyerno eh, no? Nawala talaga. At pwede nating ibalik yan, number one, kung may magiging accountable, meaning makukulong, masasampahan ng kaso. And then number two, palakasin ang COA, no? If kung lumakas ang COA, then I can always tell the public na meron tayong last line of defense na poprotektahan ang interest ng publiko, no? And yan talaga ang core mandate ng COA, no? Nothing else, to put it simply, no? So with that, I'll go to some specifics in your budget, Chairman, and ito related to sa mga pinag-usapan natin. Ang original request ng COA is 16.9 billion, no? But ang namigay is 15.
Yes.
So in other words, almost 1.3 ang nawala, no? So ano yung mga nawalang items na can you describe to us, and so that we will see if we can augment it, and the objective is to, again, no, to empower COA, to give it the necessary tools for it to function properly and effectively.
Pertaining to the personal services, items that were not considered are the terminal leave pay for the compulsory retirees, not included in the list of DBM. Yun ang mga unmatched positions. And also the personal services requirement for the creation of the Negros Island region. For the MOE, it pertains to the semi-expendable information and communication technology items and software subscriptions for the second and third year implementation of COA ISSP. And the MOE requirements for the creation of the NIR. On the capital outlay, we have the buildings and structures and furnitures and fixtures of the renovation of COA Building 2 and the new building. Then the transportation equipment as well as the ICT equipment and software for the second and third year implementation of COA ISSP. So yun po ang items that were not considered po in the NEP.
Wala pa dito, Ascom Laras, itong potentially itong 2.7 billion for pre-audit, no?
Wala po, sir.
Yung 2.7, ito ba ay na meron ng details to? Meron ng kasi ako personally, I'm very interested in that because this is to respond to the time. It's just, ang worry ko lang yan yung delay, no? Kasi baka maraming madelay. Pero kung ma-assure naman ng COA with that amount, wala namang magiging delay. At least it's a good safeguard no, until ma-stabilize natin yung situation ngayon. Kasi tingin ko ang situation hindi pa masyadong stabilized eh. No? Yeah.
Mr. Chair, we have a list or a schedule for this. I-submit po namin sa inyo. po.
Pakisabit na lang
Salamat
sa
po.
amin.
Yes,
And
sir.
this will be additional manpower primarily?
Additional manpower po. Malaking parte ho niya PS po.
Okay. And this is only for DPWH?
DPWH.
So in other words, to put it simply, bago magbabayad, titignan muna kung kompleto yung dokumento and may physical inspection.
Tama po.
Okay. Aron, dami yun.
Dami ho.
Marami.
Marami.
Okay. But ayan ang kailangan ngayon eh. Kasi of the current situation right now eh. No? Yeah. Tapos meron kaming, I came across this, it's a COA report actually, of TRB. Nung rini-review namin, Chairman, ito sa ibang ano naman to, ibang topic, no. Nakuha namin yung when we were reviewing the COA report of TRB, nakita namin na merong binigay ang TRB na sasakyan sa team leader ng COA, no, auditing TRB, no. So on face value, mukha siyang conflict of interest, no? Because you're auditing the agency, but the agency is giving you vehicles, no? Ano ba ang policy ng COA pagdating sa ganyan, no? I'm not accusing anyone of conflict of interest, but I'm just saying on face value, it looks like conflict of interest.
Si Ascom Rubico po ang
Yes,
sasagot.
go ahead.
Mr. Chair, the Senator Padilla, under Section 20 of PD 1445, all auditing units or at the time residency audits are provided by management with supplies, transport necessary to carry out the audit functions of COA in the agency. And so if the audit team is provided by a motor vehicle, then the corresponding transportation allowance will not be given to the auditor. Yes, sir. And that's also supported by jurisprudence.
So in this particular case, in this issue of TRB issuing or giving one unit to the COA auditor, that's in line with your policy.
Yeah, it's in
So
line
there's
with the policy and with the law, sir.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure, no, just to put on record, kasi on face value mukha siyang
Sir Chair, just
yes.
to add, but the vehicle should be still in the name of TRB po.
TRB.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Parang naka-ano lang po sa kanya, naka-assign.
Naka-assign lang.
Naka-MR lang po.
Okay. Wala na kayong nakikitang possible conflict of interest, baka mapaboran yung ino-audit na agency. Itong practice na ito, matagal na ba ito?
It's not a practice, sir. It's by law, procedure under the rules.
Okay, okay.
The only conflict, sir, is if the auditor is still receiving transportation allowance
So dalawa.
despite the service vehicle assigned to
Okay.
him. So may mga cases na admin cases na rin po against auditors if they receive both
Okay.
benefits.
And then you say this is by law?
Yes, Section 20 of PD 1445.
Okay, all right. So this has legal basis, in other words. All right, sir. I just want to make sure that is covered. Meron ako nakita in your website. It's called Citizens Participatory Audit. Can you, it looks, mukhang ano siya, mukhang maganda siya because as much as possible we empower and encourage the public to participate. Can you describe to us this program and how effective is this program to the to COA, no, and to, of course, to the country?
Opo, si Ascom Isidro po, Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes po. Good morning, good afternoon po, and thank you po for the question. Yung pong citizen participatory audit of COA has been institutionalized long before po. I just don't recall the exact year. And this has been going on, implemented by the different audit sectors po of the Commission, including the national government sector po. This approach for strategy involves civil society organizations who undergo briefings, orientations, and trainings together with our audit teams to undertake a particular audit po. Actually po, if I may also share our experience po, in 2024, we had a citizen participatory audit conducted po, specifically for flood control projects actually po. And that was undertaken covering the National Capital Region. This is supposed to be, it could be replicated in the regional offices din po actually. So we have a report on the citizen participatory audit po involving flood control projects of the National Capital Region. This will also be published in our website. We have a corner in our COA website po pertaining to citizen participatory audits already conducted. This one po for the flood control projects, kasabay din po siyang ipapublish doon sa mga audit reports na recent. Sa ngayon po, I don't think na nakapublish na po.
So bago lang to sa flood control?
Yes po, Mr.
So
Chair.
in
Last
other words,
year
you're
lang.
encouraging the public to help COA or government in
Yes po,
particular to audit. Yeah.
Yes po, Mr. Chair. We have a specific office po who is accrediting civil society organizations po. And aside from that po, nagkakaroon po ng orientation before the start of any citizen participatory audit po. We
And then-
have our project management office po under the office of the chairperson po actually, who is the lead for this CPA activities po of the commission.
Itong CSO is ano ba sila? Anong qualification? Dapat ba accounting firm sila? Mga accountants? What are the qualifications?
Hindi naman po, Mr. Chair.
necessary.
Depende po sa advocacies and depende po sa subject matter po ng i-audit po namin. Yun po ang invitation po at saka tinitingnan namin dun sa accredited CSOs po.
So you will open the project to CSOs and they can apply?
Yes po, yes
Tapos
po.
may terms, I guess may terms of reference
Yes
yan, no?
po, every engagement po meron pong memorandum of agreement.
Okay.
Yes
And then they can undertake on their own
No
itong...
po, they are part of the CPA audit teams po together
okay.
with our auditors. Ang team lead pa rin po dito ay COA auditors
Okay,
po.
and then kasama lang sila doon?
Yes po, yes po,
okay,
Mr.
okay.
Chair.
Parang ano sila, observer, parang ganyan?
Hindi po, parang team members po sila. So
Okay,
parang
okay.
force multipliers po namin sila.
Okay.
They go to the field, inspect the projects, kasama po silang pumupunta. From planning po until reporting, kasama po sila
Okay.
sa process.
So when will you open this flood control project? Itong
Tapos na po
nag-open na.
for the National Capital Region. Tapos na po, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
It was undertaken last year po.
okay. Tapos na siya. Okay.
Yes po,
And
Mr.
ilan
Chair.
CSO ang nag-participate?
Ah,
Hindi, no?
One CSO lang po, but they are a big group, yung Rotarians po, Rotary clubs, different Rotary clubs in Metro Manila.
Sana sumali yung mga church-based or religious-based CSOs.
They can
Kasi
also po chair.
very active sila, no?
Yes po, yes po.
And maganda itong program na ito dahil una, makikita talaga nila first hand kung ano yung mga nangyayari.
Yes
And then
po,
second, this is also empowering the public to
participate.
participate in
Yes.
the auditing procedures. Yeah.
Yes po, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
And then nakita ko throughout the marami na, no, may mga solid waste
Yes po, Mr.
management,
Chair.
merong iba-iba eh.
Barangay health centers,
Ito pala
etc.
Kamanaba Flood Control,
Yes
ito ba
po,
ito?
yes
Okay.
po.
Are we opening up for itong mga flood control in Bulacan, in other areas?
Ang-
Meron bang ganyan na move?
So far po kasi, Mr. Chair, sa Bulacan po naka-fraud audit na po.
Naka-fraud
tayo.
audit na.
Fraud
How about in other areas lang?
We will do that po.
Yeah, baka baka it's a good program
Yes,
to be
maganda
honest
po.
about it. Especially nagre-reach out kasi sa amin rin
Yes.
yung mga religious groups.
Actually po,
I'm
that's
sure
a good,
sa inyo rin. I'm sure
that's
sa
a
inyo
good
rin.
suggestion, Mr. Chair. Ano po, I think maganda rin pong to manumbalik yung pong pagtitiwala po ng civil society at ang mga citizens natin sa government would be to make them part of it para po makita po nila yung ginagawa at makita nila personally yung po mga actions na ginagawa. That's a good suggestion, Mr. Chair. We will reach out to the religious organizations and other civic organizations.
Nagre-reach out sa amin dito mga other than CSOs, mga religious organizations. Of course, they're very concerned with what's happening right now. But if there's a way for them to participate through COA's activities, that will be a good model, a good way forward. That's why when I saw it in your website, we were very interested in knowing how this citizens participatory program is being undertaken. And then going back to the fraud audit, ilan fraud aside from Bulacan, meron pa tayong ginagawang fraud audit ngayon?
Mr. Chair, right now po we're concentrating in Bulacan because as I mentioned earlier, it's 20% of the full amount for flood control is in Region 3, 50% is in Bulacan. But ang next po namin that we check po, the next highest region po in terms of value, in terms of amount would be NCR. And the highest for NCR would be the City of Manila po.
Okay.
So using that criteria, ang next po namin, if maybe kapag naka 50% na po kami sa Bulacan, we can now go to City of Manila. Aside po kasi from this flood control, ay marami din po kaming ongoing na fraud audit
Yeah,
po kasi. If you would remember, Mr. Chair, marami po kami natapos yun pong sa Farmally, yun pong sa Cagayan, Province of Cagayan, yun pong sa Pampanga, yung sa Mexico. Tapos meron din pong mga iba pa na ongoing, meron din po kami sa BARM, ongoing din po. So, we are scheduling it po. Pag naka more than 50% po kami sa Bulacan, it would show a pattern already. We can now go to the next area po.
Yan ang next tanong ko nga, Chairman.
Yes.
Do we have enough manpower with the fraud audit division? Alam ko ngayon, I'm sure,
Opo.
sobrang busy. I'm sure sobrang busy sila ngayon dahil sa dami ng fraud audit ngayon. Tsaka sabay-sabay no?
Sabay-sabay
Sabay-sabay
po.
siya eh.
Opo.
So do we have enough manpower? Meron ba silang kailangan ba nilang ng support? Especially, hindi naman to, I guess seasonal naman ang fraud audit eh. But I think in the next, maybe 2026, nakikita ko baka marami tayong gagawin na fraud audit because of the magnitude of this.
Tuloy-tuloy lang po, Mr. Chair. Actually po, yung pong DepEd laptop,
Yes,
na,
oo.
kung maalala nyo po. So, we have around 50 auditors po sa Fraud Audit Office. Medyo nakakonsentrate po kami ngayon dito sa sa flood control po sa Bulacan. So, medyo kulang but ang ginagawa po kasi namin para mabilis, if you would notice, we issue fraud audit reports around 4 to 5 reports per week for the past month po. Simula po August. 4 to 5 per week po ang nai-issue namin. Kaya po nakapag-issue na agad ng kaya po nakapag-issue na ng preventive suspension po ang ombudsman based on the 8 reports that we submitted to the Office of the Ombudsman. And this week po, meron kami ulit, next week meron ulit, so wala po kaming tigil, Mr. Chair.
Let us know if you need any support at least for 2026. I think if 50 baka hindi na natutulog 'yun sa ngayon. Sa ngayon kasi nga sa magnitude no. So if you see that kailangan pa sila suportahan kasi we will also rely on the fraud audit in ang basis ng ng mga kaso. 'Di ba? For ombudsman, for ICI, halos lahat 'yan ang basis nila sa mga kaso. So the faster, the more thorough we can conduct the fraud audit, the better. No? Even here sa Senate, sa mga dadating na mga Blue Ribbon, I'm sure they will request for that report.
Idagdag ko rin po, Mr. Chair, that we will submit po the results. Actually, nakapag-submit na po kami ng ilan na sila? Wala. Hindi yung mauna. May initial submission na po kami sa Senate Blue. We will submit the additional po.
Yeah.
Ngayon.
Pakisubmit na lang sa Blue Ribbon.
Blue Ribbon po.
Kasi sila
Okay
talaga
po,
ang
yes.
primary committee on that issue. No?
Yes.
But in terms of support, if you see any need for additional manpower or computers or let us know kasi yan rin isang way to bring back confidence Kung marami tayong na-audit na fraud, marami tayong report, ang aking paniniwala mababalik natin yung kumpiyansa ng tao no? Hindi naman to pang matagalan itong 2026 period lang kasi nga sabay-sabay nangyayari to. No? So just submit to us, Chairman, your wish list. The fraud audit, yung kaninang mga infrastructure related, yung pre-audit, pati yung mga iba pang mga request ninyo for 2026. Sabi ko nga kanina, sabi nga ni Senator JV at ni Senator Robin, ibalik ang kumpiyansa ng taong bayan. Para sa akin, isang paraan ay tulungan natin ang COA. No? Let's empower them, give them the tools, give them the funds, so that we will prevent this thing from happening in 2026. And accountability. Diyan papasok yung fraud audit kasi makikita kung sino-sino talaga yung mga may kinalaman dito. No? So just submit to us a formal request for additional funds. No?
We'll do that po, Mr. Chair. Maraming salamat po.
So with me, I'm okay na ako. No? So you
Chairman.
Oo.
I move to advance the budget of COA to the plenary. I so moved, Chairman.
Any objection? There's a motion to submit the budget of COA. The budget of the Commission on Audit is now deemed submitted for plenary's consideration, subject to the discussion and the submission of documents requested. So maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman. And good luck to all of your endeavors, especially this coming few months. Talagang very challenging for all of us. No? All right. So with that, this hearing is hereby suspended.